up on that one, mate. But that's a big ground. But Diggers didn't even kick a goal until the third quarter, and that's probably really concerning. If you're on a big ground and you're prepared to, they obviously didn't play a switch brand of footy. They just kicked down the lines. So, for that to turn around, look, mentally this is going to be really tough for the Diggers boys.
Well, I think that's the game too, because you have a look at the 3 times they've played, with Wallan obviously being 2-1. You've got the second or the first best offence versus the second best offence, and then you've got the second best defence versus the third best defence.
Yep.
So they're pretty close. They've got stars on each line. I mean, the few points I would actually have is obviously the conditions are critical and how they play it, what sort of territory battle they go for. I think that's a key. I think the other key is who's going to hunt the ball better. I think it's really important for this competition. One of the things I think is really important is the coaches. We've got both quality coaches in Jamie and Daniel, and who can actually play the game. The issue is you've got one coaching from the sidelines and you've got one playing, and that's reaction versus action. So I think, my opinion, the Simsy is your assistant coach. He becomes really prevalent in the game, and what they can do, if they can be proactive, and instead of waiting for things to happen, I think it's a real key for them, because you look at the round 1 result where Diggers won by 40 points, they had 7 goal kickers. But you turn it around, Wallan, who won the next 2, but each time they had 7+ goal kickers, whereas Diggers dropped to 4 and 3. So it's obviously a key in that defence versus offence element.
Yep. You can't have to tell you've been working with Mickey McGuan. The McGuanisms are coming out left, right and centre early.
Yeah, it's and that's a really good point. No, look, at the end of the day, this game starts at 0-0, and despite the result a couple of weeks ago, Diggers Rest are in with a chance today. They're here to play footy. They've just got to play the right way, and as you said, if they give themselves those clear opportunities, I mean, Jensen up forward is obviously an exceptional footballer. If they can utilise him in one-on-ones, and watching the game from a couple of weeks ago, the problem was that Wallan was just able to fold back their defenders and just outnumber Jensen every single time. Yep.
We know how hard it is to find key defenders. Somehow Diggers have got to try and stop Perry and Grillo kicked 138 goals between them this year. To have one key defenders is tough to find. To have 2 to shut them down, which if one's been shut, the door opens for the other. So it's going to be hard. Look, the weather can play a big part in this. As you see, the centre of the ground is pretty chopped up, which is normally the quickest avenue home. Yeah, but today it's going to be the slowest and the heaviest track, so they're going to be coming in from the wide angles. So if it does rain and slow it up, the old legs and the smart heads of the old Diggers players, I shouldn't say old, that's not the right phrase, but that's going to play an enormous. If they can slow it down and get it to a stoppage game, then I think that opens their chance up. Even though we said before they've got to play brave, but on the dry ground they do have to play brave and try and switch it. But if it gets wet, then I think probably the stoppage game for Diggers, which they're quite good at on that little ground, which they play really well, that would help them out enormously and up their chances.
Yeah, on this ground, if you can balance the inner circle versus the outer circle at stoppages, and like you said, Diggers is really good at it, and I believe Wallan is actually pretty good at it too. So if they can master the outer ring as well, it'll be a real key. And like Diggers, they've got Mitch Day playing forward, but they've actually got some quality forwards in their side. Yep. Ronaldson can actually play a bit forward. I mean, he kicked 8 goals in one game, so he's quite quality. So they've just got to think their way through the game today. It's really important that, like I said, the Simsy gets involved and their coaching staff, and just take the game on.
They've certainly got the experience over the Wallan boys. I mean, it was 4 or 5 years ago we were calling the under-18s, and seeing some of the names are now playing senior football into the Wallan side. It's great that the local kids are stuck with the club, and it's showing out now. For everyone here today, the left of screen is where the wind's blowing. It's probably about a 2 or 3 goal breeze, but it's also the heaviest end of the ground, so it'll be interesting to see how that works down there. Yeah,
it's the ground is it's for those that are watching at home, it is chopped up in some areas, particularly directly in front of goal, sort of 30 or between 15 and 30 metres out. Just hovering around the 50, but it's all down the middle of the ground. The wings are actually quite good, and we saw in the Twos game they were able to carry the ball and run on top of the ground, but they did keep it out of that centre area, which is quite chopped up. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how these sides decide to try to take the game on, whether or not Wallan wants to go through the middle of the ground, because that's generally how they play the game, or they do try to avoid it, because with their game style and the way that they actually build up Wallan, the middle of the ground could affect the way they play and the way that they structure their team and their gameplay.
Yeah, and when that happens, it gets a negative thought in your mind, doesn't it? All of a sudden, oh, geez, this is the way I play. I like corridor football. That's taken away from me purely because of conditions. Yep. So now, where's my space? Is my space behind me? Is it? And that starts that double thinking, and all of a sudden, that's when obviously diggers can hunt. If they hunt quick enough and they're smart enough, they'll actually be involved. And my theory will be on Perry and what he does, because he's only obviously played against diggers once, didn't score a goal against them. So it'll be interesting to see the impact he'll play and whether he's actually fit as well.
Yeah, well, there has been some question marks over his health in the previous weeks. Yep. He certainly looked sore in the game I saw a couple of weeks ago, so it'll be interesting to see. But obviously, I think the biggest key for Wallan up forward is Grinley at the moment. He's the most talented young player in the RDFL as we see it now, and he's a standout forward in this competition.
Yep. They've also they've got other avenues to goal too. So Morris he's kicked 37 goals this year, and that's in this level of football, that's a good outcome for a forward. So they've got other avenues to goal if they shut down, if Perry's not well. But like you go over to Diggers, Day's kicked 43 odd goals this year, so they've got avenues to goal themselves. So the Diggers boys themselves, as we know, they like to sort of play a very tight brand of footy and move it on quickly and give their forwards a chance. So yeah, it's going to be good, but I just can't see Wallan getting rolled today.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I'm going to go with the older heads of Diggers Rest on this ground. So let's get a challenge. And let's hope for a good game of footy, because unfortunately the three encounters haven't been great.
No, there's been some
a blowout.
Yeah.
Like I said, grand finals are hard to win. Premier League finals are harder.
It'll be interesting to see the mindset of the Wallan boys too after getting tickled up by Riddle last week. This is do or die today. They've had a good season all year. They've been sitting in the top 2 or 3 all year. If they drop today, it would be probably a disappointment for them. I think they start of the season, no one then would have expected Wallan to be in the grand final.
Yep.
To the final too, if not to take it out. Age-wise, they're primed and ready to go for it. It'd be interesting. It'll just be a good, interesting day to see how they all handle it. A lot of mental pressure on them. Yep. Young kids, well, they're not young kids anymore. They're probably 22, 23. Makes us feel old, but. It'll be the mindset. We'll know in about 15 minutes into the first quarter what's happened for the day. If it's a blowout early like it has been last week, then it might be all over early.
Yeah. Games like this can bring the smartest, talented player to water.
True. Lobby never been around a long, long time.
That's right.
And played a lot of premierships in both Sunbury and the Diggers. And, Diggers didn't won that flag a few years ago by outsmarting Riddle on the day. They can pull it off again if everything goes well for them. But it's all actually got to go. It's got to go well today, and they've got to try and replicate it next week.
I'm really keen on seeing the EDFL influence come in too, with Ronaldson, Day, Jensen, Cavallari,
Calvarezzi.
Calvarezzi.
Yep.
There's the first one for the day. I'll put the money in the pot later. But to see their influence in this competition, I think it's a great thing, because people are going to understand that RDFL is actually good football.
It's improved out of sight.
Absolutely, it has.
We were concerned about it all a few years ago. We were all heavily involved in it then, and we were a bit concerned about the league's future. But it really has grown, and players are wanting. And look at the number of AFL boys that are starting to come through from the clubs in the RDFL.
Yes.
So I mean, it's the skill sets, the junior numbers are enormous. We're in growth corridors, so the RDFL is only going to go one way, and that's up.
Absolutely, and there is talent coming through. We'll, at half time, we'll have a talk to the great legend of the competition, Beatson, and we'll talk about the junior programs coming through. But you're right, it's good to see talent coming through and talent staying in a competition.
Yep. And you can only look at the clubs around us playing in different competitions as well. I probably should mention, but the Sunburys and the Gisbornes also, they're all local kids playing now. They're not buying in players anymore, but that's got a lot to do with the growth corridors. You've got to look at Wallan. I mean, Wallan's future should be enormous with the growth corridor going out there. Gisborne and probably going to the Giants will be coming in the next year or two, so that'll be 2 teams out of Gisborne. The Rams, that's just a growing area. It's only time until that turns around. It's the traditional areas like the Wood Ends and all that who become socio-economically fairly affluent little areas, which keeps the younger generation out. Their future is going to be questioned a little bit now. And that's just an example, but Macedon the same.
Yep.
People can't afford to live up here. The younger people, like the tradesmen and all that, will all be Melbourne-based and living around the new suburbs where these clubs are primarily positioned, like Diggers Rest and Wallan themselves.
Yeah, well, we've had the toss. So Cole Laurie, the captain of Diggers Rest, won the toss. He's going to kick with the wind. So we'll call that the
left of screen.
Left of screen. What end can we call that one? Mountain end. Okay, the Diggers Rest are going to kick to the mountain end. Gents, predictions. Obviously, you've already touched on it, but get off the fence and tell us how much they're going to win by. Jared, who's going to win it and how much?
Diggers Rest by 23 points.
Turns?
Absolutely the other end of the scale. I'll go Wallan by about 40 points.
Yeah, I'm also going to tip Wallan for this one. I just think it's a long way back for Diggers. Even though I don't think it's going to be a blowout like their first final, I'm going to go Wallan by probably about 5 goals. So 30. Let's go 32 points. Wallan.
Oh, okay.
Hence, you and I won't be going for Diggers Rest for tea tonight or
no,
next week
no,
or so.
we probably won't be invited.
Just for the reason you'll be walking home.
just to touch on those scores again for anyone who has jumped on now. In the under-19s, Wallan got up by 2 points and will go into the grand final in the under-19 football. In the reserves, Diggers just had a win by 33 points over Melton Centrals. The game was pretty close for the majority of the day. Diggers just run away with it at the end. They will obviously go into the grand final to take on Wallan. In the under-19s netball, Macedon defeated Woodend Heskett 22-19. Macedon will take on the Rams next week. C grade, Macedon beat Diggers Rest 30-21. They will also take on the Rams in C grade. And B grade, it was Diggers Rest winning 33-31, and I believe B grade will play Macedon next week. So we're all set. Players are getting into position. We're ready for a good call, guys.
Well,
good luck. Enjoy.
All the best.
Last comments? Any last comments before we start?
Well, we should acknowledge the umpires are out there, and I've got no idea who they are today. We haven't got a list, so RDFL next week, if we're asked back, quick get a list of umpires, that'd be handy.
Jared, any last comments?
Good luck to everybody involved. Hope we get a good game.
Yeah, that's what we want more than anything else. Let's just have a cracking contest here. We're going to start. Looks like we'll have Mahoney and Krull that are going to start it off. You can see on the video right now they're just inspecting their jumping space, which is probably not going to be much of a jump.
There's already one big mismatch out on the swing. Lawton, he's probably got about 6 inches on young Cowenberg, and so that'll be interesting. If Diggers want to put one out and put it up high, he's got certainly the height advantage and the experience with the AFL in the background for him.
Yeah, he's a solid player. He's actually pushed up onto the wing. I think the last couple of weeks he has been playing forward. So we have Lobb has started deep forward. Jensen obviously is down there for the Burrows as well. Ball in the air. We are about to kick it off. The rucks will go at it. It is Krull and Mahoney. Mahoney just grabs it out of the ruck. Left foot kick down towards half forward. Coming out and meeting the football is the Magpies at the moment. Quick handball out by Laley out wide. We're going to spend a lot of time out here today, I think. Picked up here by Diggers. They're going to try and clear it out. Couple of quick handballs. I can't even see that far across the other side of the ground at the moment. Laley wins the football back. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Mullen and taken out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in just near the scoreboard.
Yeah, good early pressure from the Diggers boys, laying 3 or 4 good tackles.
Boundary umpire to bring the ball back in. It will be Krull and Will Brock that will go at this one. Ball in. Brock wins the tap. Out the back. Players are just going to dive all over the top of it. At the moment, it's Lawton who has crunched in on a tackle. I can't see the player at the bottom of the pack, but we'll have a bounce. That was Morris for Wallan at the bottom of the pack. So a couple of stoppages early. I think we'll see a bit of this in the first quarter. Ball goes up. Neither ruckman can get a hand to it. Players just dive in again with the tackles. That's Tenaglia laying the tackle there, and another bounce.
Nice traditional final start, mate. A lot of pressure, a lot of scrappy footy.
Will Brock tries to win it out, but Krull grabs it, gets a quick kick out of the stoppage. Almost turns the footy over, but now they've got a bit of space here, the Burrows. Missed tackle, we're going to have it's too high. I think that's going to go to Brockwell. He'll play on. Go out wide, trying to find the runners. I think that's Lawton out there on half forward. Picks the football up. Handball inboard to his coach, Jamie Lobb. Runs inside 50 on the right foot. Puts it through. First blood to the Burrows.
And a quick transition too. Once they got the ball, they actually really pushed hard into space. Kept it out of the corridor. Just played alongside it and got a relatively easy run into goal.
Played it really well. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the coach actually make a statement really early when you're playing, and can't make a bigger statement in the first goal in the prelim final.
And they did just open them up a little bit there. And once the ball got out the back and Brockwell was able to move it on quickly, and you spoke about Lawton being out on the wing, good impact early.
Absolutely. And the Wallan boys are going to have to work a bit harder. The midfield's going to have to push down and help their backs out a little bit there. They left them stranded.
So the ball will go back in the air. Rucks will go at it again. Mahoney got the first one. Krull jumps early. Ball hits the deck. Players will just dive on top of it again. As I think that's Makitic maybe in there. No, that's Bonello, who's over the top of the footy for the Magpies. Krull helps him up. We'll have another bounce. Right in the middle of the ground. Ball one out by Mahoney. Out the back. Caruana gets a quick kick and that another break or another stoppage win there for the Burrows. Taylor down towards half forward. Picks it up. Handball's back. Finds Wallace. Gets it onto the right boot. Little scrubbly kick. So it hasn't been overly clean so far, and the ball will roll out of bounds centre wing.
Just a couple of times there, you see the Wallan boys getting sucked to the contest, and the Diggers boys are sitting off, giving an out, and it's actually helped them push their ball into the forward line a couple of times.
And I actually give Lobby a credit for the putting Crowley in the ruck.
Yeah.
Against Brock, he's not getting in his way physically. It's actually a really smart move.
Krull won that one down. Ball straight back down to the ground, and Bonello's over the top of it. Krull lays the tackle. We'll have another bounce.
What Diggers need to do is, you're right, is bring the ball down to the ground. That's why Crowley's probably a good option there. He's not going to tap it into space. Just bring it to the feet, and they all know where it's going.
Looks like he got an eye full of mud there. Ball one out by Mahoney. Quick kick out of the pack comes from, I think that was Baker, down towards half forward. And ball rolls out just forward to centre. Wallan side of the ground, just in front of the scoreboard here at Macedon.
I think Wallan need to address the Hind coming off the half back too, because he's got some space there. Quick kick in, and he's got it, and he's out the other side. So they need to engage him. Probably play a 2-on-1, which they're not doing.
Holding the man there. Free kick goes to Wallace, and another stoppage win to the Burrows here. Kick goes out wide, finds Caruana. I think that is out in that far wing. He will look to try and set up the Burrows here forward of the footy. They're going to kick long to the contest. Great mark.
Great mark.
That's too easy. That needed pressure, that one.
Yeah, fantastic grab inside forward 50. Looking over the top for Jensen. He's got out the back of his opponent. Quick kick. He's kicked it. The Burrows get the first two of the game, kicking to the scoring end. Yeah, great goal again.
Quick transition once again. Left the Wallan players chasing the forwards into open space, and that's an easy goal for the Diggers boys.
And it was a really good grab at half forward there, Jared. I couldn't quite see who it was.
Looks like part of the Diggers' game plan is to push high and kick it into open space, the old Pagans paddock a little bit, and give them a chance to run into it.
Ronaldson's got a good set of hands. So, look, it was a very impressive mark.
And a nice kick. The set-up kick was really nice as well.
Set to advantage.
So the Burrows 2 straight, 12 to Wallan 0 score at the moment. Burrows kicking to the scoring end. Krull gets another kick out towards half forward. Leading up at the football was Day. He overran it though. Ball just dribbles inside forward 50. Wallan in front. That's too high. Yeah. We're going to see a free kick here going to the Magpies. It looks a bit sore. I think that is... I wasn't sure. I think that was Vianney. Wallan will bring the ball out towards the wing. Turned it over. Straight back to Krull. Having a big impact so far. Ronaldson can't take the mark. Again. Jensen's out the back again of his opponent. Walks into goal and kicks his second.
Geez, Wallan going to have to address this really quickly because that's the third time they've got a goal coming out the back. So, yeah.
Well, that's twice Jensen's been goal side of his opponent, and when we looked at Digger's first goal, it was the same thing. All of those Burrows players were just all goal side of their opponent.
This also started up here on the wing. There was the ball was kicked to a pack of 4 Diggers players. And
it's just basic football from a defensive point of view. Back shoulder.
Yep.
Don't allow that forward to actually get goal side.
Even it's nearly time for a goalkeeper to sit across the half back across the goal line just to have run forward to the ball. Just going over their heads.
That was Matt Bonello playing, but he's switched up now. Vianney's gone across to Jensen. That'll be a ripping matchup. There's we've got Stevie Boyle, feeds the handball out, finds Ricky Shraven. First time we've called his name today. Quick kick going inside forward 50 to a contest. 1-on-1, there's a bit of a hold. Yep, they're going to pay it. It's going to be a free kick going Diggers Rest way. Taylor Hine off half back. Looks to move the ball in through the middle of the ground. Finds his teammate there in Calvarezzi. He kicks down towards half forward as Jensen's just behind his opponent there as Vianney came straight up. Great follow-up by Vianney. Lays the tackle. They're trying to get the football out, but they're a bit scrappy here, Wallan. Keep turning the ball over. Great pick up by Lawton. He's wrapped up straight away and we'll have a bounce. right on half forward. Umpire Stevie J in control there. Rucks will go at it. It is Krull and Mahoney again. Krull wins it down. Quick kick out of that pack. Comes out from Calvarezzi towards half forward. He turns it over. Vianney standing under the football, takes the relieving mark at half back for the Magpies. He tries to play on, slips over. He's in trouble, but he shakes off the tackle. Just well situated. Here we go. As again, there's just players diving in all over the place at the moment. It's a bit scrappy. So's Mike Wallan. Laley, he handballs the ball out to Boyle. Boyle gives it off. Fantastic tackle by Krull.
Great tackle.
He just covered it up, stopped all of that momentum. I think he's hurt him.
He's hurt big time.
Oh, yeah, he's popped his shoulder out, but look at it. He's in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, that's Morris.
That's a goal kicker too.
He looks very, very sore, young Morris. Rucks will go at it again. Mahoney and Krull, no one really wins it again. Quick scrambled kick out of that stoppage. Taylor goes to ground. Keep your feet, young man. As the ball rolls out, there's pressure in there from Tenaglia, and it will be wrapped up for another bounce.
Yeah, they need to address the back of the stoppage here. There's 2 Diggers rest players free. Now, a quick kick out by Wallan, and they've got possession. There's 3 now.
As they go at it again, Krull just too strong in that one for Mahoney. Picked up by Laley. He's had a little bit of an impact for Wallan early.
Gee, Diggers have not given a Wallan player 1 inch of room to work here.
They have shut down really well, Diggers. We are 8.5 minutes into this quarter. Krull versus Mahoney. Mahoney wins that one down. Players, again, over the top of the ball. Taylor for the Boroughs will wrap that up. I think that was Gilchrist with him. And we'll have another bounce.
You see Will Brock going off behind the stoppage.
So the ball's tapped down. Stevie Boyle wins that stoppage for them, but it is all Diggers rest behind the ball. They have set up beautifully. Wallan has no momentum. Poor kick there from Paddy Jackson. Turned over to Stevie Boyle. He gets a handball out to Bonello. Bonello's under pressure, but handballs backwards. Finds Brock, but a fantastic smother there by Taylor Hine. Picks the football up. Looking downfield for an option, can't find one, has to handball backwards, finds Taylor. He sees Freeth out of the corner of his eye on the wing in plenty of space. And again, there's Diggers numbers everywhere out here. If Wallan have to win this contest or at least tie it and get a ball up, and they do, and they were very lucky because Diggers had numbers out the back of that contest.
Yeah, that's a good result for Wallan.
We did say earlier if they were Diggers are prepared to break brave foot in switch, they're going to cause some dramas, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, they're finding the space really well.
Rucks go at it again. Ball is 1 down this time to the Magpies. They'll get a quick kick out of the stoppage down towards half forward.
3v1.
Boyle gets the spoil, but he's there by himself. Out to Jackson. Turns the footy over on his last possession. A little bit shaky again, but Taylor makes it look okay. Kicks down towards half forward. Big contest down there. Ronaldson, I think, was the flyer as the ball comes to ground. The Magpies, can they get some momentum now? They've got a bit of space. Kick comes out wide from Gilchrist. Looking down towards half forward to find Bonello. He takes the mark, but he has to settle because Diggers have got numbers everywhere inside that forward 50.
Now, where are all the Wallan players? Someone put a fence up across half forward. They're not pushing down hard.
Bonello kicks low towards Perry. Takes the mark right on the 50. Probably too far out to score, but he's called that he's going to go back and have a shot.
They've gone into a defensive mindset, so everybody's sitting behind the ball. So when they do go forward, obviously the numbers aren't there. But it's no surprise that they switch the ball, they get an entry.
It's a tough kick from here.
It's a very tough kick from here against the wind. As he has ended up passing it off, I think it's Will Brock on the lead-up that's taken the mark. Very good presenting there from Brock.
And that's what we do. Just hold on to the ball. Just wait. An option will open up eventually.
And they do. They just need to pull the momentum back in their favour in this game at the moment.
Need to get this to swing from left to right with the winds going from right to left. So this will be against all physics if he can pull this off.
Yeah, that's a bit deep for me. Just kick the football and make it go through the middle. As Brock comes in, right foot kick is on the way from just inside forward 50.
Who did listen
and exactly as Turns called it. It goes left to right and through for a behind on the near side. 11 minutes into the quarter, Diggers rest 3 straight, Wallan 1 behind. Ball comes in.
So that's a disappointing result from there.
Out towards half back, they find Delahaye, I think his name is, kicked down towards the wing. And it finds Webber, but he drops the mark. Oh, great follow-up pressure there from Taylor Hine. He has had a big first quarter.
Yeah.
He lays the tackle, holding the ball. Free kick to the Boroughs. Just defensive side of wing. They're going to square it back up. You'll find Taylor. Taylor will look into the middle of the ground. Find Tenaglia, who was taking off from half-back, and they have got the switch.
Again.
Paddy Jackson has space everywhere. He can go for a bit of a gallop, brings it back inside. That's a poor kick, though.
No. Bit early to come in.
Now he's opened up for him.
They have got space everywhere here, the Magpies, if they can use it. Kick goes out towards Grinley. First time we've called his name today. Gets onto the right boot, inside forward 50, deep towards Fowler. He's not there, though. Boyle, front and centre. Quick kick off the ground towards goal. It's just driggling out towards the back pocket, though. Diggers will get a clearing kick out towards the wing. It's a bit of a barrel that's going to just travel out of bounds on the full free kick to the Wallan. So the Magpies will try and send this back inside forward 50. And it is Gilchrist. He kicks inside forward 50. It's a 4-on-1 again. Diggers have numbers everywhere, defensive side. Grinley goes beautifully in. That is a free kick. He's going to get it, holding the man.
He's in a terrible spot, but
it's the worst spot on the ground to be having a shot from.
Yep, he's been kicking straight out of the mud there.
Yeah, and he's probably about 40 metres out from goal. By the time he kicks, it's probably 45. It's going to be pretty hard out there.
It's a really disappointing result for Diggers then. I mean, 4v1, no communication. And to give away a soft free kick like that, I mean, I know the nerves are there first quarter, but that's just simple football.
Yep. And it's the type of player Grinley is. He forces them to get a bit nervous when the ball's on the ground.
A couple of Diggers' decisions, they're doing the right thing and switching out wide, but they came in far too early here off a wing into the midfield, and then to try and kick across goal then was not the right option. But, play the lines until you get some room and then switch them out and off you go.
Well, we have spoken about the fact they have to take the game on, so it's good to see he's got a hold of that. It's a decent kick. It's not going to make it. Ball was too heavy, or probably he was too heavy in that spot. As I think the Magpies will pick it up. Brock kicks towards the top of the goal square. It's Diggers with numbers everywhere again, though. They are absolutely controlling it. I think that was Weber.
Oh, that's a great result.
Kicks out to Wallace, who was in a 1-on-2. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Caruana. Well done, Bondello. It's probably a good free kick. It'll slow them up a little bit here, the Burrows.
It has to. They've got nothing up forward. They're too deep. They need to come up. They need to get into that lawn zone.
Kick comes out wide towards Tyquin. Leads the race. Tries to step around his opponent. Does it nicely. He's a left footer, but he ran out of bounds. Took the ball out. And we will come back and have a bounce just in front of the Wallan coach's box here at 14 and a half minutes. Diggers 18, Wallan 1. Diggers controlled this opening quarter.
Hate using AFL terms, but every time Wallan bring the ball into the forward line, it's chaos footy. That's all they're bringing. They're just chaos balls in.
Rux will go at it again. It's well done by Weber. Could have been too high. Gets away with it. Goes in again. Lays a tackle. And Gilchrist does nicely. But, I think...
he let us all know. They split him open too. He's got a nice cut above the eye.
Yeah, Weber certainly got away with that one. Ball will go up again. Rux will go at it. Brock wins it out, but it's all Diggers where he knocked the ball. Day goes on the right foot inside 50. Poor kick, though. He had more time than that.
Poor checking by their forward line as well.
Absolutely. Mannix, the captain for Wallan, takes the mark, kicks out wide. He kicked out of one of those boggy spots as well. Wallace gets in there. Great tackle by Wallace over the top. And we will have another bounce just forward to centre here. Diggers rest attacking end.
So Kroll come back onto the ground, which is really good. That'll give him some strength in the midfield, hopefully.
Had a really good first quarter,
yes,
Matthew Kroll. Rux go at it. Mahoney wins it down, but the second hit from Weber was good. Off the ground, inside forward 50 to a 1-on-1. Just the man in front there, in front of Ronaldson. Ronaldson has to go again. Mannix goes back, wins the football. Handball back to Baker. He's going to clear the kick out wide, and he will find Todd Muldoon. First time we've seen him today. Takes a mark on half back on the far side of the ground.
He hasn't got much to kick to. There's not a lot of movement.
Diggers have them well and truly covered at the moment. Caruana, but beautiful mark. Fowler coming up the ground.
Great set of hands.
Gave a fantastic lead option there.
That's it.
Kicks into the middle of the ground.
Lower the eyes. He's got the handballs on.
Got a bit of space. Lynch to Laley. Laley's going to follow up and get his own football. Just runs through 3 tackles. Loses it in the last one. He's going to be pinged, unfortunately. But that was Krull again. Laid that tackle, wins the free kick. And Day gets an absolute falcon right in the mush. Mannix goes off the ground, kicks towards the wing. That really, really courageous football there, head over the footy. Fantastic attack. I think that was Swazenberg for the Burrows. Here comes the blood rule. I think that's Laley that is coming off with the blood rule.
Where he copped one high and missed out on a free kick.
So Wallan's now got 2 behind stoppage. obviously trying to, like I said, with that defensive mindset.
Yep.
Ball goes up again. Rucks go at it. Krull wins that one down. Out the back, I think that's Day with a quick kick down towards half forward. Wallace in a one-on-one. Tries to put on the afterburners. Fantastic follow-up tackle. But Lynch did well in that contest because he really... If Wallace had got out the back then, again, they would have been a big
Oh, it's a
trouble.
great setup by Wallace.
Yep.
He was no intention of getting that ball.
No.
He was waiting for the tackle.
Rucks will go at it again. These two are going to have jobs for themselves today, I think. Ball comes down. Head over the footy again. The Magpies do it quite well. Tackle laid there by Mullen, and we'll have another bounce.
One thing's improved since we've done this last time, mate. The tackling has gone through the roof, the quality of tackling.
Rucks go at it. Mahoney wins it down. Bondello, quick kick out of there. The Magpies are starting to win some of these stoppages. Cross half back. The Burrows will go deep and long inside forward 50. Caruana took his eyes off the footy to run back. Great attack there from Baker. He comes out, although he could have been pinged for that one. It was a bit of a shoddy handball. They're going to try and clear it out of that defensive 50 now. The Magpies, they'll square it up. And they will find Davies.
Look for the lateral. You've got two players on here. If he actually turns his head, there he goes.
Former league medalist Davies kicks out wide, finds Gilchrist. Davies needs to get into this game. Kicks down towards Bondello. Paddy Jackson comes over the back, gets the spoil. Bondello does really well in that contest. Jackson knocks it back out.
Oh.
Tyquin's taken high. Umpire didn't see it. And now they're going to pay a free kick to Wallan.
Oh.
Day was a bit overzealous there, to be honest. He came in to protect his teammate, but probably a bit silly in the end. Bondello takes the free kick, kicks into the middle. Davies, again, grabs the hold of the football. Looking at the switch now. They're starting to spread this game. Jamie Lobb goes over to put pressure on. Gilchrist had a bit of footy in the first quarter. Goes inside forward 50. Long kick. The big guys fly. I think that was Fowler over the top. Picked up here by Grinley. Round the body. He's found a little teammate in a little bit of space, but great coverage by the Burrows defenders. As players to come in, that's going to be too high. And it's going to be a free kick going to Wallan. And we'll just have to wait to see who it is that gets up off the ground, but he looks a bit hurt.
They've
He'll be right.
settled a little bit, Wallan. They're starting to get their structures and their game plan going.
Oh, that's Morris. He's copped a couple of big hits already today, poor old Murray. But he will go back and line up from about 30 metres out, just on a slight angle.
It should be a pretty straightforward kick for a talented player like this one.
You'd hope so. At least Wallan would hope so, because they've taken control of the game in the last sort of 6 or 7 minutes, after Diggers absolutely dominated the early stages.
They're equalising inside 50, so they're getting opportunities.
As Morris comes in, he puts it on his way. It's a beautiful kick, little bit of late swing, but it's home. Sneaks it in. First goal of the day to the Magpies goes to Morris. As almost 20 minutes into the quarter, Wallan 1-1-7, Diggers Rest 3 straight 18.
No score review on that one?
No, that's what I was thinking about, Richard. But that started, I go by Gilchrist running. His running patterns, taking off one side of the ground, being daring, like I said, changing, switching it up, opens the forward line up, makes Diggers defenders start thinking about where it's coming in.
He's had a really good impact early in this game, Gilchrist. So we get a bit of wind here blowing through the microphone, so apologies to those at home, but bad luck, we're the ones sitting in it.
So Diggers have pushed Lawton out to the other wing now to give themselves a bit of height on that side of the ground.
Yeah, I think that'll be the rotations. Mahoney does well. Handball's out the back, tries to find Ricky Shraven. He's got that dangerous left foot. Can he get onto that? He can. Right, left foot kick inside 50 towards
back,
Perry.
So it's got to be in the back.
Yeah, and unfortunately, lefties put the hands right in the middle of Perry's back, and he will get the free kick. About 35 metres out, right up, hard up against the boundary on the far side of the ground.
They're starting to win the stoppages now, Wallan.
Yes.
They've certainly controlled the game in the last sort of 6 minutes, haven't they?
Yeah, I think since Crowley went off, they started getting dominance around that stoppage. He's come back in, but he's going to try and control that momentum now.
The stoppages, they dominated early, but Wallan's definitely on top now. As Perry comes in. Set shot is on the way. It's right across the face and on the full.
Missed everything.
Lucky we had a quiet bet on that one for a beer. Collecting once again.
Diggers Rest free kick. In the defensive 50.
Wallan got numbers down the line here.
Yeah, it's
Kick
very
just
deliberate kick down towards half forward. The players will fly. Brock over the back, can't take the mark. Beautiful tackling that's taken place today. I think we're seeing both sides have been really, really strong in that aspect of the game so far.
Yeah, there's a lot of contested ball at the moment, isn't there? And obviously the ground conditions are playing to that.
Rucks will go at it. Krull will win that one down. Shraven gets a handball out wide, trying to find a teammate. He's wrapped up by Krull again. Quick kick out from Diggers. At the moment, it's whoever's on top in the stoppages of the team that are on top. Freeth takes the mark, half forward, kicks inside that forward 50, looking for Jensen. Flies, can't take the mark. Ball hits the ground. Nice spoil there. I think that was Mannix who took it. It's a nice little play there, again, for the Boroughs just to keep it moving forward.
Realistically, that kind of, I mean, they both went up against each other. Yeah. Why wasn't one sitting down for a crumb?
Especially when you're playing open forward line with only 2 forwards.
Yeah. I mean, Diggers probably need to set up a little bit more and put one more small down there to give them a chance to at least crumb some goals.
Rucks will go at it again. Pretty poor throw-in, unfortunately, but Brock gets his hand on the footy as Boyle keeps feeding that handball forward. Out to Morris. He's going to continue to try to get that run going. Makatich in the middle. Handball's back again to Morris. He gets that kick down towards half forward. And I think that's Grinley coming up on the footy. He's been held again. Play on, said the umpire. Paddy Jackson got away with that one. Tyquin, he's wrapped up. Beautiful work there by Grinley. Cuts it off. Kick inside 50 to Perry.
It's beautiful play by Grinley, isn't it?
Class above then. He probably should have got the free kick earlier on. He just kept going. Great play.
We've got Fowler down in the middle of the ground. He looks like he's in a bit of trouble as well, holding that knee. We know he's had knee problems in the past.
No, it's his shoulder.
Oh, it's his shoulder. Okay.
Yeah, it's the one he's got strapped up by the look of it.
Perry, right on the siren. It'll be a big goal for the Magpies if he can kick it. Deliberate approach, being the league's best goal kicker this year. It's on its way. He's got it in almost the right spot. It's not going to make the distance, though. Diggers will spoil it. It will come out. 23.5-minute quarter, pretty short, but not a lot of scores. And at quarter time, we Diggers 3 straight, 18, Wallan 1-1-7. Gents, thoughts?
As we expected, I think, with the 2-goal breeze going down that way, I thought Diggers certainly... I mean, the gap is probably level, to be honest with you, when you think of it, because it was a 2-goal, 3-goal breeze to your left of screen. So, for Diggers to do that, they did well. Wallan came back. Second half of the quarter certainly belonged to Wallan. They got themselves set up. They're obviously starting to use their hands and trying to bring it down through the corridor, which is the heaviest part of the ground, but that's why they go for it, and that's what they're used to. Diggers stopped switching. They started to make a couple of poor decisions. Especially when the switch was on, they came back too early in the midfield. When you're here at this ground here, you don't come back in until you're at least forward of wing. But they came back in a couple of times too early.
Yeah. Well, Diggers started off brave, didn't they?
They did.
You know, take the lateral movement, look for the run on the outside, stayed out there. You look at the centre clearances when you've got 2-1, so it's pretty even. Stoppages are really even. Obviously Wallan putting numbers into the stoppage, and you're inside 50s. It's actually, I've got Wallan ahead 7-5.
Yeah, they're good. It's just the way they brought it. It was chaos footy early.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they didn't have the smalls in front in good position to be able to make advantage of that. Diggers sat back a little bit and then were able to switch out, and look, it showed when the Wallan forwards, backman got sucked up the ground a bit. The Diggers were able to put it over the top. And there were all three goals came from running over the back.
Yes,
but they stopped that eventually in that second half. So.
I think in the second half, Diggers didn't adjust to it. So Wallan's adjusted. They've said, okay, well, let's get back shoulder. Yep. Let's get some numbers back. But Diggers, they actually, like I said, they went for a 2-man forward line, no crummers.
That's true.
And you actually need that. You obviously, when you see big talls.
Yep. Probably the other thing we probably take into account too, being a more experienced team, they settled early.
Yes.
And the Wallan boys didn't quite settle as well. But 10 minutes into the game, when they just realised it was another game of footy, but it was a bit more on the line, they started to show their wares. They used their hands a lot more. I found, I don't know if you witnessed it too. Certainly coming through the middle, they were using their hands and carrying the ball with their hands, realising there's no point blazing into the wind and letting it sit up there. Carry it through, and they did it well. They got that last goal through the carrying the ball, the last shot at goal anyway, for carrying the ball by hand and a couple of scrubber kicks in. So. All in all, look, a pretty even quarter when you really think of it. Yeah,
I thought Wallan adjusted to Diggers having them loose players behind the ball. And the way to do that, obviously, you've got to use your hands, break the lines. At first, they were just bombing, and then Diggers players, they were impacting, changing the angles of the ball, and that helped them a lot. Yep. Wallan, obviously, I think they're probably a little bit nervous to start with. And you're right, I think Diggers adjusted better. And then all of a sudden, what happens? They say, okay, let's calm down. understand, play the game, don't worry about the scoreboard, use your hands, run the lines, and you're breaking, and all of a sudden these loose plays from Diggers and Rest weren't actually impacting.
So Perry stood up towards the end of the quarter.
Yes.
And they're going to have to start watching. If they're going to start moving the ball quicker, Perry and them are going to come into the game.
Yes.
And really put their stamp on it. I mean, this is a quarter. I mean, Wallan need to probably kick 4 or 5 goals this quarter and establish a good lead into half time.
Yep.
If they're going to win this game. Before the rains come, there's some clouds coming over, looking a bit ominous. If they can go into half time with a good lead and use this 2 or 3 goal breeze, it's certainly going to put them in good stead. Diggers themselves, it'll be interesting to see how they structure up. Are they going to play someone loose behind the ball? What sort of setup Jamie's going to put in? Because now they're going to defend this win and see and what difference that's going to make to the structure the Diggers come in with the game.
And with your 6-6 rule, it's very hard to manufacture that now.
Yep.
So how they do that will be interesting, because obviously you'll probably have that wing roll back into that role.
Yep.
So is it a Chris Lawton who plays that loose player behind the ball? Do they try and...
Well, he's probably got the height to do it.
Yes.
And of all of them, if you're going to push down, have another marking option down there and play, I don't know, like a May type of role where you're going to be intercept marking, he would be the option.
Yes.
I would probably push there. The others aren't quite tall enough because they're going to worry about their key forwards. They're going to be, Wallan are going to create a lot of room for these key forwards this quarter with the wind and give them every opportunity. Be interested how they set up. Are they going to play some smalls around them? So, the ball's going to hit the deck a bit. Are they going to play some smalls? Be really curious when to see how Wallan set this one up.
I was actually impressed. Wallan actually looked quick.
They did.
They've got speed in there, so they should utilise that.
Look, when they got out and started to move the ball...
Yeah, we always look quick when we have the ball, don't we?
Well,
some of us do anyway.
hard work chasing. I'll give you them. Not as a forward I ever did much, but... but
you're right.
Now I've lost my track.
Yeah, that's that speed on the ball. If they can get that, I think Diggers might be in a little bit of trouble. But... at the moment, what do you think Daniel's talking to his group about?
I think he'd be just saying we've got an opportunity this quarter. Let's open it up. Let's not crowd our forward line. I mean, it's just simple football stuff. We've all been there and done this 1,000 times, but don't crowd it up. You've got plenty of room. Try and stick out of the mud in the corridor. Do what we do well. We can run and carry. Use your hands, and if we got to, that's what we do well.
Well, that's right. We're in a prelim final. We've done something right to get to this point.
Absolutely.
Don't play scoreboard footy. That's a byproduct of how you actually play.
Yep.
So if they can just, like you said, focus on what their jobs are, then they can get back in this game quite easily and quite quickly.
I think they got back in the game towards the end of the quarter anyway. They clearly dominated the last 10 minutes of that quarter, where Diggers dominated the first 10 minutes, and Diggers probably should have got a little bit more out of what they probably needed a little bit more out of what they ended up getting from that first quarter. And I think after the first 10 minutes, when they kept getting out the back, their entries were shallow, and as you said, their forwards weren't coming up to the footy.
No.
But they're not going to be able to do that this end. There won't be shallow entries.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, they will be shallow entries, and they're not going to be able to get out the back because the ball's not going to carry. So,
well, early on, the Diggers went deep,
Yep.
and then they started, like you said, they started hitting that trampoline zone, which is a real dangerous zone, and Wallan started rebounding from there.
And they looked dangerous when they did. But quick update from over at the netball. Diggers were in front by about 10 goals at three-quarter time over Macedon. And a quick wrap-up of the early games. Wallan won through to the grand final in the 19s. Football by 2 points. Diggers by 33 points in the reserves. Macedon by 3 goals in the netball in 19s netball. C-grade netball, Macedon by 9 points. And B-grade netball, Diggers rest by 2 goals over Melton Centrals to go through to the grand final as we're about to kick off the second quarter, gents.
So interesting setups for Wallan there. They've all gone huddling themselves in the corridor type area, just push out wide to give themselves some spots. So obviously the instructions are to keep the ball and get it into the half-forward line, half-forward flank area, and gives themselves a shot with the clean turf underneath them.
Hope everybody's enjoying the call. We had the specialists here. Now, if you listen to Jared and Paul during that quarter, you clearly know everything about football now.
That's more than we know then.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. I'm still trying to work out what them 4 big sticks at the end of the ground are.
The ball will be bounced to start this second quarter. It's the Boroughs leading by 11. Rucks go at it. No one really wins it. Not decisive anyway. Ball at the bottom of the pack. Taylor over the top of it. Tackle laid. And much like the first quarter, I think we're going to see a number of stoppages.
So get used to calling the stoppages, mate.
Ball will go back up. Krull and Mahoney going at it in the ruck. Both players wrestle again. No real definitive win, but well done there by Davies. Comes storming through. Quick kick out of the pack. Comes down by Calvaresi to half forward. Mark taken by Schwarzenberg. He goes inside forward 50. Look, it's a terrible kick though. He's turned it over directly. Intercept mark there by Mannix, I think it was. Kicks out towards Boyle. He tries to play on quickly, or did the umpire call him to play on? Kick comes out wide, finds Cowenberg. First time we called his name, but he drops a sitter. And well done by Jensen. He's going to get stuck into him for hearing the footsteps. And we're going to have a throw-in.
That was a really disappointing entry. He did all the right things when he was, got in front and showed the advantage of being a forward playing in front, and then to turn it over was disappointing.
Oh, Krull wins that one. That was a bit crude there by Bonello from Wallan. Came in, just laid the hip and shoulder to Schwarzenberg, who had his head over the footy. Bit crude. Schwarzenberg will win this football and kick inside forward 50. Let's hope it's an improved entry on last time. Kick goes down towards, deep forward pocket. Plenty of numbers there for the Magpies. Mahoney wins the kick out towards half back, and Taylor Hine chops it off. Well set up again behind the footy diggers.
He's had a good start to this game, Taylor.
Yeah, had an exceptional first quarter. Both he and Krull and Lawton as well, I thought, were three of Diggers' better players. Ball goes inside forward 50 again, one down the front. It's been wrapped up. What's the free kick? He's been pinged for incorrect disposal.
Gee, I tell you, Diggers are going to keep bombing and blazing like this. They're going to find goals really hard to get. They're not setting themselves up, just kicking the backs.
Well, they need to be a 360-degree player, don't they? They need to understand what's going on all over the ground. And just putting it back and forward like they're doing, dumping this kick out.
But Wallan are returning the favour, but just keep dumping it down the line too. So it's,
I think Mitch Day's a little bit lucky on here.
Yeah.
He's got a shot on goal.
Yeah, it was a look, ping for incorrect disposal. I'm not 100% sold on it, but Mitch Day, he'll line up, have a set shot on goal. He will kick from just inside that forward 50. We've seen already it's a tough kick from here. He's going to leave it to the near side, and it's going to go through for a behind. Diggers 3-1-19, Wallan 1-1-7.
You reckon the wind's dropped off a little bit? Doesn't seem to be blowing as hard this quarter as it was last quarter.
Not as cold.
Well, it's true. Well,
and thank you very much, you two idiots. Just made sure that the wind's going to pick up.
And how fit are the umpires looking? Have you ever done the training for the umpires this year?
Svelte.
Well done.
Yep. They look like they have trained far more than these players have anyway.
So we've got Diggers running a soft zone. Obviously, Wallan huddling at centre half back.
They're not going to be happy with you calling them soft. But turnover. Paddy Jackson takes the mark. Kicks out wide. That's not a great kick either. But Day got this ride, didn't finish it off. Taylor Hine comes through, tries to pick up the footy. Bonello puts that pressure on. Hine just wrenches it back out of there. Tries to feed the footy back. There's plenty of numbers there, and the ball will go out of bounds in front of Calvaresi, and we'll have a throw-in.
First time I've probably said this in a long time, Gavin. You're actually right. That was a really disappointing result for that. You had players all over Diggers in the forward line by themselves, and we actually end up with a stoppage.
I think someone put a better memo out to the lobby. That's the hardest spot to kick on the ground.
They're definitely on the wrong side of the ground. Ball comes in. Laley comes bursting through, turns the footy over to Lawton. Lawton to handballs just inside forward 50. Vianney comes out strong, tries to get the footy out, but he's wrapped up. And we will have a free kick going to Lawton. Lawton kicks inside 50 to Jensen, but again, just a poor spot. He turns the footy over.
There's Morris in the middle of the ground. 2v1.
Kick comes out wide. I think that was Jonkers there, down on Jensen.
No,
he's paid
a free kick. Free kick's going to go back to Wallace from Diggers Rest. Or is it Jackson? Jackson handballs off to Wallace. He kicks down towards half forward. Just a deliberate setup this time for the Boroughs.
This is where they had to be brave. They had 4 Diggers players in the middle of the ground unmanned. Yeah.
Kick down towards Jensen. They've paid the mark.
Wow.
Well, number one, Jensen just shoved the guy in front of him. The ball came over the back. The spoil came in. I'm not sure he held that for any longer than half a second. But anyway, he's got the free kick. They've paid the mark. And Jensen will go back and line up for his third.
Yeah, we must apologise for our barracan too. That's what happens when you get football people.
They need this. Diggers need to get this. They've had forward entry after forward entry. They need to get some sort of result for it.
Well, it's 4-0.
Kick on the way from Jensen, straight across the face. It's going to go out of bounds on the full. Out of bounds on the full.
Well, they've had their chances.
Mannix will bring the ball back in for the Magpies. He'll look inboard, find his teammate there in Cox. Cox tries to step around his opponent. Left foot kick out towards half back is a beauty. Finds his teammate out on half back. I think that might be Jonkers. He goes inboard. It's a dangerous kick, but does well. Davies recovers, kicks and switches out wide. Krull on Bonello. Two players that have had a big impact on this game. Bonello does well to create that space. Gets the handball received, kicks down towards Shraven at half forward. Here comes that left foot all day long.
And how many times have we seen this in football?
You have all the work, one quick turnover and they just bring it down nice and clean. And look, Perry, you would expect him to kick this. He's a paid goal kicker for the club. He needs to get this goal.
Deliberate set shot at goal coming for Perry.
And the sun's out in massive.
Geez, I tell you what, I love watching when Ricky Shraven gets the ball in space. He uses it so well. Perry's kick is a beauty. It comes back lovely right to left, straight through. Matt Perry kicks his first. Wallan move on to 2-1-13. Diggers rest 3-1-19.
And all of that was just due to brave football. They put the switch on, they came out, and nice clean foot passes into a nice open forward line, and Wallan could get the goal.
You've got all your players on the skinny side of the ground. You change the angles, it becomes a 2-on-1 battle. 2v Wallan versus 1 Diggers. Lose the battle, this is what happens. You get a shot on goal.
And I think Bonello deserves a heck of a lot of credit for the block he put on out here for his teammate. It basically opened that game right up.
And they're the game changers. They're the team acts that people don't see and they don't stat.
Ruck's ready to go at it again. Will Brock in there now against Krull, who's battled his butt off so far. Brock wins it down. Jesse Davies starting to get a bit of the footy. Jesse, that's in the back. They landed right in his number. Is it Jesse, or have I got that one wrong?
Doubt that.
That's a kick down towards half forward. Fowler, good to see him up and about again. Spins around, Spinneroonies. Loses the football, but taps it back towards Laley. Picked up again in there. That's Ricky Shraven.
Oh, look at this on the outside.
Right foot kick, beautiful.
Great
Finds
vision.
his teammate there in Muldoon. Right foot kick at goal, and he's missed across the face.
Speed is becoming an issue now.
And so's Fowler. He's a big boy, and he's just smashing packs, bringing it to ground.
I did get that one wrong before. That was Ricky Shraven in the middle of the ground, and he's really starting to have an impact on this contest. Ball to come back in now from the Burrows. I think that's Delahaye out towards half-back, finds his teammate. Taylor Hine comes back inboard. Finds Delahaye again. He tries to play on quickly. Fowler can't catch him. Delahaye, right foot, tumble, punt towards half forward. Jamie Lobb gets the trap. Spins onto the left. Spins back onto the right. Right foot kick inside 50. Looking for Freeth. He's 2-on-1. Or Jensen it is. 2-on-1. But he ends up winning the footy. I have no idea how he won that one. As the kick will go from Ronaldson. Inside 50. Deep. Great mark in the goal square. Fantastic mark by Mitch Day.
And the thing about that was just unlucky because Matthew Bonello fell over, gives Lob some space. This is what happens. So it's just really unlucky footy, but great contested mark by Day.
And
point blank range goal for the Burrows, Mitch Day.
Good goal. Needed to.
They did need that one. Diggers, that will take them along to 4-1-25 and Wallan 2-2-14.
So the first 5 minutes of that quarter, they battled their backsides off down there and got no result, and they opened up a nice clean movement and get a goal for it. So well done to the
And
Diggers
disappointing defensive play by the Wallan players out here against Jensen. They were 2-on-1.
Yeah.
They just had to do better. You can't lose that 2-on-1 contest.
Well, yeah. That upsets a coach quite a little bit when that happens.
The old coach killers?
Oh, sort of.
The ball's making its way slowly back to the middle of the ground. But it's been a pretty good contest so far.
It has. It's not going to be a blowout. We're not going to get a 20-goal game today, that's for sure.
Well, I think they're both played in spurts as well, so it's who makes the most of their spurt when they're on top. Rucks go at it again. One down by Brock into the mud puddle. Swazenberg over the top of it, and he's wrapped up straight away in there, and we'll have a bounce. I think that was, Morris over the top.
When you look at this type of game, how did Wallan beat them by 98 points last time?
I think above the shoulders. Yeah. That's above the shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you get to a 40-point deficit.
They just dropped off.
Yeah.
Brock wins the hit out. Smash forward by Morris down towards Laley. He's being held by Taylor Hine, who has just had a head collision with his own teammate. Laley inside forward 50 to Perry. The spoil come from Laurie. Handball goes out towards Fogarty. He fumbles the footy but regains his composure. Kick out towards the wing. Oh, well done. He's basically opened a side back up there. I think that was Mullen. Well done. Back to Freeth. And out of bounds, right in front of us in the commentary box.
That was well done, boy.
Just fantastic to get a hand to that one from Mullen.
Oh, absolutely. I think what Wallan's done too is Wallan's started to pair off now. They're actually playing one man on man.
Yeah.
Keeping it simple. It's got it back into the game. They even look at the stoppages down. There's nobody free. Actually, as I say that, good on Taylor Hine, makes me look bad. Yeah.
The ruckmen have to put their hands up like they're in primary school again, just to say that ask permission to go up in the ruck.
But that's experience from Hine pushing back there.
As the rucks go, Brock wins it down, tap forward again by Bonello. Over the top, well done, well picked up by Calvarezzi. He just shovels the kick forward and it rolls out of bounds right at the interchange gates, with the Boroughs leading at the moment by 11 points.
So I like Fowler. He's actually come up onto Taylor, so they're trying to obviously get him engaged, which is really good. So obviously Wallan have a flu somewhere at the stoppage.
At least if the ball's coming down there, then they can make a contest with the Wallan boys and bring it to ground if they need be.
Rucks go at it. Krull will give that one to him. Laley, he's played a pretty handy game so far. Handball comes out from Brock, doesn't quite get there. Laley goes again and again. Gets the kick out, gets the stoppage. Kick inside forward 50. Grinley, man in front, can't take the mark. Ball on the ground, Hine dives on it. Fowler in there putting pressure on. Paddy Jackson just dives in over the top.
That's what you
Fowler
want to see.
wraps him up.
You want to see a big man actually get dirty.
He's sore in that shoulder. That's the second time he's grabbed for it.
Clearly looks hindered. So let's hope it's not that too bad.
Paid is short term, isn't it?
That's it. Ruck goes forward, a big hit out there from the Magpies towards the goal.
What's he going to do with this? What's he going to do with
Perry's
this?
got the hands out.
We're waiting.
He's appealing, peeling for deliberate.
And the crowd was waiting for that.
If this was the AFL, they would have paid it.
That one.
It would have taken longer to pay it, but
Yeah, it would have. We're going to have another throw in. Right forward pocket for the Magpies. Well, one ruck will go at it. Brock knocks it out the back towards Morris. Can't find him. Calvarezzi runs away from the stoppage. Left foot kick out towards the wing. Great contest out there, though. Can he keep his feet and stay in the contest? No. The Magpies are going to win it out. Handball comes out over the top towards Muldoon. He just shovels the ball forward, turns it over again. Calvarezzi getting a lot of the footy, and he turns it directly over. I think that's Cox out there who's got the footy. Handball forward. Magpies under pressure. Vianney tries to get it out. Cox just falls straight in the back of his opponent as Diggers will get some numbers over there and we'll have another bounce.
There's a lot of Wallan players sitting out this side of the ground. I mean, you look out there and that's Gilchrist is sitting out there. There's virtually no one on him for a while. The Diggers boys are getting sucked into the contest at the moment.
Wallan starting to get on top in these stoppages, though. Brock's done well since he's gone in there. Paddy Jackson wins the football at half-back. Beautiful strength from Taylor Hine. Comes storming through and a beautiful kick. Finds his coach, Jamie Lobb. Lobb just settles. Kicks out wide to Fogarty. Fogarty off that wings run really hard. Great kick Good inside. Kick. Finds a teammate. I think, is that Schwarzenberg, I think, is taking the mark inside forward 50. Yes. And he will go back and line up. Kick from just inside 50.
That was good play. Jamie Lodd's experience.
Yeah, Jamie, yeah. You looked at Matty Bonello then. Matty tried to read the play, but actually didn't see the Diggers player in the corridor.
Schwarzenberg steps inside 50. Kick is on its way. It's nicely placed. Has it got the legs? It has. Beautiful goal.
It's a great goal.
And another really important goal there for the Boroughs. Schwarzenberg kicks his first. And the Boroughs will go on to, 5-1-31 to Wallan 2-2-14.
Wasn't quite the quarter we thought. I thought Wallan might have had a couple of extra on the board by now, but Diggers are going all right. I mean, it's not pretty football, and it's not easy to call, let's be honest, but they're going all right, Diggers.
Well, I think Diggers, they're trying to make it a contested ball game, and they're trying to draw Wallan in.
Very true.
They're just got to be smart enough, Wallan, to stay out. You don't need to send 5 people into a stoppage if you can control the outer ring.
No, that's it.
Rucks go at it again. One down that time by Webber for the Boroughs. They go inside 50 again, down towards Freeth. Freeth just holds his ground. Players fall over everywhere. Picked up by Caruana. Down towards full forward. Going back with the flight was Day. Couldn't take the mark.
I haven't got the centre clearance stats.
This quarter, it's 2-1 Diggers' favour. We've had a lot of secondary stoppages.
Yep.
So the Borough move along 5-2 to Wallan 2-2. Wallan will try and run this football out of the half-back line. Jonkers looks inside to Morris. Ooh, dangerous kick. He can't take the mark. Kick. Webber comes in. He's doing a good job as a backup there for Krull. Players are diving in all over the place. Lobb can't get it. Brock wins the football out. Pressure on everywhere in there at the moment. Cowenberg can't win it out. It's beautifully done there for the Magpies. The kick across goal is a beauty. Finds his teammate.
Brave.
Benello takes the mark.
Which one? Brave.
That's the fine line between genius and insanity.
This one's Matthew Benello. He'll kick out towards the wing.
Good mark.
Mannix flies, can't take the mark. They've dropped a lot of marks today, Wallan. As extra pressure comes in there, I think that's Taekwon does nicely, and then we'll have a bounce.
Put your coach's hat on, Jared. If you saw your players bringing the ball back into the middle of the ground from a back pocket, what would your views be?
Probably one window broken. A couple of water bottles over the fence.
Weber jumps over the top, knocks the ball out towards half forward. Taekwon in there, keeps trying to knock and paddle the ball forward. He does so inside 50, and we will have a throw in 35 metres out from the Boroughs goal.
And even though he actually took the mark, I would sit there and say low percentage. So.
In those words?
Yes.
Rucks again. Brock wins this one down. Jamie Lobb just throws the hands in the air trying to get that free kick. Doesn't get it. Benello now will pick the football up. Just a left foot scrubber along the boundary line. Probably a good kick in the end with the numbers set up behind the ball. For the Boroughs, it rolls out of bounds and we'll have a throw in on centre wing.
Just really like the setup behind for Diggers Rest. I mean, they're trying to get Taylor Hind free at all costs.
He's coaching him back here. He's setting it all up.
Calvarezzi, he was free, but he actually took Taylor's man, freed up Taylor.
They have a distinct advantage in the ruck, Wallan, at the moment. They don't seem to be taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
The ball, he's just hitting it forward without sort of doing much with it. And apart from that, he went straight down to Benello. But
Brock down to Benello, wrapped up straight away there by Caruana. We'll have another bounce.
Well, this is where Brock should take advantage. He's got size, both height and bulk.
Weber's not exactly a big man physically, so you should be able to push him out.
He's a jumper.
Yeah, it's a brilliant. He's staying away from him.
Look stupid sometimes.
Oh, well, no, because what he's actually doing, he's staying away from him.
Yeah. Quick kick out there. I think that was Shraven down towards the wing, looking for Vianney.
Oh, good tackle.
He's come down towards half forward.
Yeah, it's actually smart play by Weber. Obviously, he knows he can't beat him physically. Well, a bit of a dust up, bit of a how you do.
Good to see.
Yeah, just asking everyone.
No, it's a free kick being picked out of this.
Free kick to Fogarty.
Yeah, Fogsy's a clever little player. He knows how to suck those free kicks in.
I'd say his old man was a master at it in his day.
Yes, he was.
His old man was a master at it. Fogarty now to bring the ball back in, right on centre wing. Kicks down towards half forward. It's not a great kick. There's nobody there. Just turns the ball over directly. Baker takes the mark.
For the centre corridor here, you've got centre corridor.
Baker goes inboard. He finds Shraven. Shraven will look to run, carry, handball the football. He wants to find Gilchrist running from behind and providing that drive towards forward. And Matt Perry takes the mark on the chest. Cole Laurie was right up his backside, but beautiful kick. There wasn't much you could do about that.
Probably the first time we've heard Gilchrist's name in this quarter, isn't it?
Well, Muldoon was out free by himself. I actually thought that's where that ball would have gone, but no, good option to get to Perry. I suppose he's a leading goal kicker. Why not give it to him?
Perry looking for his second goal of the day, but he's had a few shots on goal, so particularly in the first quarter, just pushed a couple across the face. But Perry, long kick towards goal. It looks good. It looks good. It's another one for Perry. That's his second.
Certainly no Ben Brown run up. He does 2 steps and bang.
So that'll be the Boroughs 5-2-32, Wallan 3-2-20. And we have gone. Well, we haven't got the clock running on this quarter, so I can't give you that time, gents.
Okay. Daniels decided to go small in his forward line.
Probably not a bad move, trying to open that up a little bit with that scoring end.
So is Fowler on the ground?
No, he just come off.
So the Rucks will go at it again. They're a little bit out of shape here, the Boroughs. They have no idea what's going on. That's a 6-6-6. It looks like they're missing their far wing, so their wing rotation didn't work out quite that well there. So they get their first 6-6-6 warning. Boroughs by 12 points at the moment. Ripping contest here in the second quarter. Mahoney uses the body, creates some space, handballs back to Benello. He goes down towards half forward. Coming out to meet the footy there was Makitic. Tries to bash it back inside forward 50. Picked up by Delahaye. He goes inside to Hine. Hine gets it off to Taylor, back to Hine. Hine's going to take a bounce. Difficult conditions for that. Recovers quite well.
Hasn't got a lot up the ground, but
goes to Calvarezzi. He kicks towards half forward. Shallow entry, and I think that's Wallace. in front, but does nicely to lock it up, and that'll give the Burrows a good chance to reset.
It was a good play by Wallan. He wasn't going to mark it. He just brought it to ground and caused a stoppage.
Rucks will go at it again. Mahoney wins that one down. Lob lays the tackle. Might have been a bit high and was. Free kick is going to Bonello. Bonello will looking for options at the moment. Doesn't have a lot of them. Kicks out wide. Finds a teammate. That is Cox. He will look further out wide. Find another Wallan teammate out there on centre wing. Goes down towards half forward.
So this is where they're dangerous.
Kick, I think that was Cowenberg inside 50. Well done, Laurie. I don't agree. That was in the back. That was beautiful body work. Gets the spoiled ball, hits the deck. Wallan are just diving in there now. I think that's Cowenberg out there. He's laying those tackles. Laley gets the football. Cowenberg comes storming out with it. Kick towards goal on the right boot, and he's missed.
Well, taking by your previous comment, you played all your career in defence, didn't you?
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Beautiful body work. Leave the defenders alone. They can't get away with anything these days.
Oh, no. What a shocking kick.
Terrible kick coming out. Gilchrist can't pick the football up. Tyquin goes after the ball and then goes again. Gilchrist, beautiful tackle. Yeah. Tyquin gets penalised and Gilchrist's going to take the free kick.
Diggers needs to start. Wallan's got the momentum now, so Diggers needs to
and there's a switch on wide, and they haven't seen it way out in the other wing.
And there's the man with that left boot. Look at it.
Great.
Have a look at that, Ricky Shraven. You'll beauty. Finds Grinley on the lead.
Should play footy for a living, this kid.
Well done.
Grinley will kick from just outside 50. It is the scoring end of the ground, and we saw Perry kick a nice goal from a similar distance before.
They actually really need this. I mean, that's the scoring end of the ground, and they're still behind by, 9 points, 11 points. They need this one. 2
goals apiece in this quarter. Grinley, really nice kick of the football. This would be his first for the day if he can kick it. Kick is on its way. It's a beauty. That is an absolute beauty.
Good kick. Good goal. Well needed goal by Wallan as well. The Magpies are starting to open them up a little bit here.
Yeah, that's the momentum swing again. We saw first quarter, first 10 minutes belonged to Diggers, the rest of the quarter to Wallan. We're seeing it again in this quarter.
Yeah, very good in the back end of quarters, aren't they?
Yep. So it's 4-3-27, the Magpies. The Burrows are 5-2-32. Massive goal there for the Magpies. If they can, look, to be honest, this game probably deserves to be level going into half-time. So.
Well, they're going the opposite of what we thought they'd say. They've just brought Brock going down in the forward line and Fowler's gone down, so they're going tall now.
Yeah, so 2 and 4.
Swapping them around.
Rucks go at it again. Mahoney versus Krull. Mahoney tries to grab it out again. He's done that a lot today. It's well done by Caruana. Gets the ball forward to Taylor. Goes towards half forward. Big spoil from Cox. Goes back towards the centre of the ground. Picked up by Stevie Boyle. He gets onto that right boot down towards half forward. Here's that man again. Really starting to impact the game. Ricky Shraven. Left foot kick inside forward. 50. Fowler can't take the mark. Spoiled by Tenaglia. He kicks out towards the wing. I knew I'd get that wrong today. Handball goes out wide towards Taylor. He just shuffles the ball forward with the kick off the ground. Gilchrist comes across, picks the footy up. Nicely done. Out towards Lynch. He turns the footy over.
All the ground. You've got to make that decision quicker.
Didn't use it.
Oh, no,
Mullen.
that's a poor decision.
That's beautiful kick. Lace out to Jamie Lobb at centre forward. Lobb kicks inside forward 50, looking out there. I think that's Ronaldson. He's going to get a free kick for too high. And Ronaldson will take this kick just outside forward 50. What can the Burrows do? A couple of them look like they're jogging on the spot at the moment for the Burrows.
They do.
The legs are getting a bit heavy by the looks of it, but Ronaldson is a long way out, but he's going to back himself here.
This ground's going to do it to you.
Oh, yeah, this will kill you, this one.
If it misses, it misses near side, because it has all day. Oh, Jackson!
You're going to pay just for the visual.
What a beauty!
And they're going to put him on the angle from hell now. Oh, what a great mark.
And see, he didn't even milk it when he went down. He should have stayed down just a little bit longer, just for the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you want to see.
Disappointing that you bump straight back up.
We'll have to wait for the Facebook on the middle of the week to watch
Jensen
the replay.
plays on and kicks the check side.
Great goal.
That mark deserved a goal, so Jensen kicks his third. Beautiful goal, and the Burrows, they get their sixth.
Now, if that doesn't lift them, nothing will.
Absolutely. Fantastic mark. That's what you want to see when you come to a game of footy.
I wonder what it feels like when you can jump that high.
I'll tell you later.
I'll be honest, I don't think the three of us ever worried that bit.
I took a specky on someone's ankles once.
Yeah, but he was laying on the ground at the time.
Yeah, I know. Diggers 6-2-38, Wallan 4-3-27. Very important goal for Diggers because Wallan had all that momentum.
No, that is against all the gist of the play for that quarter for them to do that.
But they respond well, Diggers.
They do.
Rucks will go at it again. One down by Brock.
Well,
Beautiful tap out. Stevie Boyle comes bolting out the middle. Kick towards Perry.
Quick response here. Great play.
Fantastic response. There's probably a couple of concerns here with this matchup for Diggers.
Yeah. What do we do?
Look, Lefty's right with him every single time, but Perry's just got too much strength and he's protecting that space.
Another shot
far
on the
too
siren
well.
for Perry.
He's just too strong at the moment overhead for Lefty, unfortunately. But after the siren, Perry had it in the first quarter. Let's see what he can do in the second. It'll be a big goal. They need it right on the half. Perry kick on the way. He's missed to the left.
Unfortunately with Perry, it's hard to find a defender who's got speed and height to be able to match him in both.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have it, so you can only go with what cattle you've got, but it's about the midfield. I mean, you can't stop, as a defender's worst nightmare, when a forward midfielder's coming screaming out of the middle of the ground like that. You're not going to stop that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Well, the problem with football is the offensive element is easy for a footballer. It's always easy to run forward.
Yep.
If you can master the defensive transition, then you become a good footballer.
Yep,
and you've seen just then how many times he's had space in front of him, Perry.
Yeah.
That our Diggers rest of midfield need to be more accountable getting back.
Absolutely, and that's happened a couple of times this quarter. You're 100% correct, and they really do need to have a good look at that.
So
the problem is I don't think they've got the cattle to be able to do it because their midfielders are struggling. It's a heavy ground in the middle. Is there enough pace for someone to be able to get back? But in that instance, and I don't know, you fella, I don't think anyone will
you're not
that.
stopping.
No. But it's starting to become a pattern.
It is.
So you sit there and go, you don't have to run harder, just run smarter.
And there were some options open for Wallan a couple of times during that quarter, which they didn't take, really open switches, which didn't happen, which would have caused Diggers all sorts of grief. But look, credit to Diggers, you hit it on the head. They're replying really well for everything that's going on. You can't, I'm sure when they're leading now, the kick against the Breeze, and they're 10 points up here at half time. That's against the trend that I thought the day would have gone. So they're going well, Diggers.
Half time, Diggers 6-2-38, Wallan 4-4-28. We're going to take a short break and we will be back with the second half action. Welcome back to Macedon halftime. Diggers 6-2-38, Wallan 4-4-28. Thoughts on the first half, Jared?
Well, question without notice. What did the coaches say at halftime?
I'll let you have that one, Turns.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Look, if I was the Wallan coach, I'd be saying try and be a bit more brave with the football. The times we got out in the open, we were able to create a switch and give our forwards an opportunity. We looked a lot better. Don't get into a scrap with Diggers. I think Diggers at the moment, they're looking. We made a comment towards the end of the second quarter. They looked a little bit heavy on foot. If I was the Diggers coach, Lobby, pretty much more of the same. I'm not sure if they've got another gear to go to. They're just looking a little bit predictable in some of their patterns. Just try and keep doing what we can, keep the pressure on, and don't let Wallan get out on their own. That would be probably my instructions as a coach. Tie the game up and get it on our terms, which is, I think, scrap, and then open it up and go. And that's why I'd be looking at it if I was either of those coaches.
Yeah, if I was Diggers, I'd be definitely wanting to force Wallan wide, give him that lateral kick, because then they're running laps. So you're obviously taking leg speed off them eventually towards the end of the game. Own the corridor, which gives them an ability to push back into defence and get numbers back.
Yeah, I found that, like today, I don't know, you may be seeing it a bit differently. The corridor's not the answer for the goals here today. It's so damn heavy underfoot there.
No, it's not the answer for the goals, but what it is the answer for their running.
Yeah, no, fair call.
Because Diggers can't chase them out wide and then try and chase them back.
Yeah.
So, they like I said, I think it's glaring both weaknesses and strengths on both sides.
Just when they the centre clearances, whoever's winning the centre clearances are getting some easy shots. The Wallan guys in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game when Perry, they came screaming out of the middle. That's what they want to do. They've got to get on top. They've got the ruck dominance.
Yes.
He's only going to get taller. He's not. It's going to be harder and harder for the Diggers boys to jump against him all day. Start using that dominance, and let's start with getting some centre clearances and see if we can get an easy couple of goals. Because realistically, I probably would expect them to be well in front by now. And it is a scrap. It's hard work out there. It's heavy underfoot. I mean, I haven't been out in the ground, but it looks pretty heavy. The wind seems to have died off. And saying that, it'll probably start blowing again in the middle. But, it's going to be an interesting third quarter. I mean, the premiership quarter, as we all know, and I still think Wallan will have the leg power, leg speed to run this one out.
Yeah. We've got it's 5-4 Wallan's favour, centre clearances. We're getting a lot of secondary stoppages.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's really hard to get momentum out of that midfield when there's nowhere to run.
Well, the Diggers ruckman have been clever because they're bringing the ball down to the ground, to the feet, to create a contest where you can see quite clearly that the Wallan ruckman's trying to tap it into space and give them some running power. But the ball's sticking; it's not bouncing and letting them to run. So,
and by doing that, they're drawing the Wallan players into the contest.
And I still think that's on the Diggers' term. So it could be really interesting this quarter. Am I concerned about the power of the Wallan forwards getting on top early? Yes, is the answer to that. I think if they get a couple of quick, easy goals, I'm not sure if Diggers can maintain or stick with them.
We got Diggers two goals up, and it's Wallan's 15-13 in front in the inside 50s.
Yeah, it's only time until that turns around and that becomes score.
Yes.
So just a quick wrap up again. Under 19s, Wallan won by 2 points and go through to the grand final. All the winners today go through the grand final. Reserves, Diggers into the grand final with a win over Centrals. 19s netball. We had Macedon with a 3-point win over Woodend Heskett. C grade, Macedon by 9. B grade, Diggers Rest by 2. And A grade, we had a bit of a boil over, Diggers Rest winning against Macedon to go through the grand final. Third quarter is underway here as the Rucks go at it. Krull wins it down. He'll go back into the slosh in the middle of Macedon. And over the top of the ball is Ricky Shraven. I think Krully's trying to dip him into the mud there. But we'll have another bounce. Stevie J will throw it up and reset. Brock wins that one out down towards Shraven. Krull follows up his own ruck work, gets the ball, kicks it straight up in the air. Will Brock can't take it. It just plonks in the middle of the ground. Brock goes again. He can't get it. Bit of push and shove in there as Caruana dives over the football, and we'll have another bounce in the middle of more slop.
Isn't September supposed to be beautiful weather and smell the cut grass and open footy?
That's what finals footy's supposed to be about, but it's clearly not today. As Mullen wins the football out of the middle, out of the stoppage, kicks down towards the wing, picked up there by Bonello. He feeds the handball out wide. Paddy Jackson in there creating space for his teammate Schwarzenberg, who takes the ball out towards the boundary line. It'll go out and we'll have a throw in.
I think one thing Diggers are doing really well today, you don't have to be the most skilled footballer, but if you can apply pressure on the ball carriers, which they're doing, and create the turnovers, you're going to go really well. And that's why they're probably at 10 points up at the moment.
It also creates perception, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it, putting a little bit of doubt in the Wallan boys' heads.
Ball comes out. It was Boyle who fed it out to Cohenberg, who goes down towards half forward. There's holding there. Free kick will go to Brockwell off half back. He feeds a handball out to Taylor Hine. He's had a very, very impactful game today. Down towards half forward, the fly from Swazenberg just shuffles it forward, turned over to Mannix. He kicks down towards half forward. Players will fly again. Ball hits the deck. Pressure on there in there everywhere. Hine just wrenches it out as the Boroughs look to go forward again. It's Delahaye. He goes back to Hine. Hine just shuffles a kick forward. It's all Wallan. Great mark in the end. One-hander. I think that is Mannix again. He feeds the handball off. Finds Davies a poor kick across the ground. He's going to turn the footy over. Mitch Day picks it up. Feeds the handball back. Finds a teammate in Caruana, kicks down towards half forward. Mark is taken by Ronaldson.
But there's nothing to kick to.
He's going to have to look for Jensen here.
Yeah.
Jensen leads up. You know, I think he's going to go back and take his shot.
He's going to have to. Wallan's got the numbers back now.
They certainly have. Mannix and then push back. Oh, clever play.
Well done.
Beautiful
Now
chip over the top, and Taylor will take the mark and go back.
Just a great lesson for kids watching. You know, take your time.
Absolutely.
Roll the eyes. People are going to work for it. They'll work in the space.
Taylor has the shot. Been a very good player for several years now at Diggers. I thought he was probably one of their most important players in their premiership a couple of years ago. Certainly still an important player now. Taylor steps in. Right foot kick is on its way. It's beautiful. Goal umpire does not have to move over the hat. Taylor's first. Diggers rest seventh as the Boroughs move on to 7-2-44, leading Wallan 4-4-28.
16 points up in a low-scoring affair. That's a handy little lead.
It's a nice little lead, isn't it?
Yeah, good play. And you're right, just a nice lesson to the young ones. Be patient.
Yeah.
You don't have to blaze away. It'll happen. I mean, Mannix then put himself in a really good spot to fill the hole up, and they waited and waited, and if they go into that mindset, they're going to be very hard to beat from here.
Well, this is really important centre's clearance now.
This one, if they pinch one more, boy, oh boy. I'm not going to say the fat lady's going to sing, but she's warming up.
And yeah, the tempting thing for Crowley, he's actually got a lot of space.
Yep.
If he goes a big hit, look at the space between the centre and the forward line. It's
one quick kick out, and both the Diggers forwards are in front too, which is a sloppy mongrel kick will get them an advantage.
Yeah.
Rucks go at it. Brock wins it down to Shraven. He's been pinged. Tried to take the tackle on.
Geez, they brought the heat this quarter, Diggers.
Yep.
And I think they're running Mullen with Shraven now, so it might be a bit of a run with roll for Mullen.
Taylor's out here on his own. You nearly look at that switch. Yep.
Kick goes out wide, finds Pat Jackson. He'll play on, kick down towards half forward. It's not a great kick, puts Fogarty under pressure. But great pick up by Wallace. Cleans up and helps out. Boyle can't collect it. Swazenberg comes in. He gets wrapped up straight away by two Wallan opponents. Grinley, he's getting a bit frustrated down there, Grinley. He's been a couple of push and shoves in the last couple of times he's been around the footy.
If we look at the trends of the game, Diggers always start to quarter well.
They do.
So we should expect this. But as you said before, if they keep scoring.
Yeah.
Brock wins the ball down again. Jackson just slaps it forward. Quick kick forward for the Magpies down towards the wing. Players will stand underneath it. I think that's Laley. He will get the free kick for too high. Kicks the ball into the middle of the ground, looking to spread now. Cox running from half back, just pops it inside forward 50. He tried to find his teammate Morris. Morris did not take the mark. The ball hit the deck. He's wrapped up by the Boroughs opponents.
I think Morris was trying to con the umpire then to say picking that.
Did the umpire feel sorry for him or not?
Nope. Right into the slop.
Ball goes up again, smashed out by Mahoney. Taylor picks the ball up, goes out the back towards Calvarezzi. He kicks down towards the wing, Mitch Day. He's had a bit of an influence on this contest. He's wrapped up straight away, though, and we'll have another bounce.
They just seem to be in front of their opponents at the moment, the Diggers boys. I mean, the short kicks, the bounces are sort of falling in their lap. And that's been smart football playing in front. All their forwards here are all up in front.
5.5 minutes gone. One down again by Brock. Laley can't clear it out. Quick kick the forward for Diggers. Mannix gets his hand up for the spoil, recovers. Handball's out into no man's land. That's Cowenberg, tries to feed. Ball. There's tackles. Everyone's in here at the moment. It's a bit scrappy, a bit messy, like my calling in that passage of play.
Look at Diggers forward 50.
Yeah, she's absolutely
I think
empty,
they've identified.
Yeah.
We got Jensen 1-on-1 inside forward 50. Rucks will go at it again. Krell's being held and will get the free.
Wallan don't need this many people at the stoppage.
No, not at all.
Krell plays on quickly, goes down towards half forward, looking for Ronaldson. He flies, can't take the mark. Ball spoiled out towards the boundary line. Jensen takes it over.
No.
Umpire says throw it in.
Actually, really good umpiring.
I think that's the Jack Ginnivan rule. Ball to be thrown in. Diggers attacking half forward, currently leading the game and leading it well. Krell wins it down, but Bonello's front and centre. Fed out by Ronaldson out to Taylor. He just slams it on the boot. He's going to turn it over, is he?
Yeah.
Out on the
They're
full.
all claiming it's touch, but the umpire's not falling for that.
Oh, hold on.
Again, or is he?
Is he?
I think he is. Touched.
Oh,
They were going to throw it in inside Diggers forward 50.
we have controversy at Macedon.
Controversy. Not really.
No.
So this is where someone like Jamie Lobb, who's setting all this up at the moment for them, really plays a really important role here. Keeping the space, not letting it get too blocked up. But even Jamie himself could probably go back into that forward line a bit earlier to give him a target, someone to crumb to.
Speak about Jamie's overruns the footy. Wallace picks it up beautifully again. Snap around the body from Mullen. That is not bad. Is it going to get there? No. Marked right on the goal line. Wallan will clear it out now. Out towards half-back. Finds Gilchrist again. He's been really important for the Magpies today.
He just needs to do more of that.
Yep.
The ball goes to Davies. He tries to swing the handball. Can't get it over the top of his Diggers opponent. Boyle feeds the ball out wide. It's Morris trying to crash in there, but the Burrows are going to win the footy back again. Taylor versus Boyle. Boyle does well. Gets a handball, shovels a handball out towards Laley. Laley's just going to run it out and over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Just once again, Wallan just came into that corridor far too early. I mean, Diggers had the numbers in there. They had just one more kick down and then could have come in, but far too early on this ground.
He's come in. He's got space, so he should be thinking kick.
Absolutely.
Brock will win that hit down towards Gilchrist. He just shovels a kick forward. Players just dive on top of it. Delahaye can't get it out, but a nice quick kick.
Out.
Then Magpies have got a bit of momentum forward of the footy. It comes down towards half forward. Mannix has moved forward now. Out to Tyquin. He's wrapped up. Could have been holding the ball or incorrect disposal. Umpire says play on. Ball rolls out of bounds.
Yeah, some days when the ball just bounces your way. It's happening for Diggers a little bit in the minute.
But they also look like they've got heavy legs, Diggers. You have a look at them. It's getting to that point in the quarter.
Rucks will go at it. Krell wins that one down. Bonello front and centre can't clear it out. Players will dive in. Another tackle there. That's Vianney wrapped up.
This falls into what Diggers want. Protect the 16-point lead.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's just tie it up for the rest of the game.
Rucks to go at it again. No ruckman went near it. Laley picks the footy up, storms through the stoppage, kicks deep inside forward 50. Great mark. Great defensive mark down there for the Burrows. I think that is Brockwell again. He's right foot out towards halfback. That's a poor kick.
Choice.
Marked by... Bonello's just absolutely creamed him. Handball over the top. It's Makatich, top of the goal square. Can't take the mark there is Fowler. He goes back down. Mahoney's knocked over. It's Tenaglia. Kicks out towards half-back and Wallace. He's had a really, really good start to this quarter.
They had the ball up the
Mahoney's still down here behind the play, grabbing at his knee, so I think he might be in a bit of strife. Switch comes out towards Laurie. He plays on, left foot kick down to the wing. Not a great kick, but dropped mark again from Cox. Ball knocked out the back to Schwarzenberg. He handballs over the top. Lawton's got a tiny little bit of space, but he gets absolutely shut down by Stevie Boyle. Holding the ball, Boyle plays on quickly. Handball out wide to Muldoon. He's going to try and drive from half-back. It's not a great kick again. It's out towards the wing. Gilchrist versus Mullen. Mullen just does very nicely, leads the ball out, knocks it out of bounds.
And Jensen gets a nice knee in the back for his troubles just then. He's fast. He can run.
Yeah, he's quick, isn't he?
And Mahoney being helped off by the trainers down the other end. That's going to leave Wallan with one ruckman. Ball comes in again. Won that one pretty easy. Quick kick out comes from Mullen towards half forward, but sitting in the hole. That's 50.
No. I'll tell you, Ronaldson's not fit.
Not fit?
He's not fit. He can't run.
There was... Before the game, they mentioned that he was carrying an injury.
Have a look at him. 2 contests I've seen him. He's just hobbling.
Matt Bonello goes out towards the wing. There's a free kick out there. I think it's going to go to Muldoon. He kicks over the top, looking for the lead-up player. Smart play. Very, very smart play out there. I think, is that Grinley? It is.
It is, yeah.
Turns, falls, unfortunately, lost his footing. He's wrapped up. He's going to be pinged. That is holding the ball.
Good pressure, young Fogs.
Yeah. Steve Fogarty gets the free kick.
Good zoning off by Calvaresi too. Play that D1, D2 role perfectly.
Fogarty kicks long down the wing, looking for a
that's a
teammate
free
over
kick.
the top. Morris, push.
Obvious push.
Hands first. Free kick against Morris. It'll go back to the Burrows here. Better throw it back in hurry or he's going to be running backwards 50 metres. Caruana. Kick down towards half forward. It's a 2-on-1. Now it's a 3-on-2, and Ronaldson never in that contest.
You'd nearly drag him off, wouldn't you? He's actually a hindrance for you now.
Mannix in the middle of the ground, pops the ball over the top, looking for Laley. Had a bit of it today. Oh, well done, Krull again. Shuts it down, wins the football, kicks down towards half forward. It's not going to get past Gilchrist. And Jensen's going to come up and try and put the pressure on. Mannix goes back to Gilchrist. Gilchrist swings the ball wide to Jonkers. Jonkers with the long handball over the top, looking for Brock. Brock with another handball over, turns it over to Tyquin. Tyquin's handball's not as good, not very good either. Taylor just shuffles it forward. It's out towards Wallace.
Great vision by Wallace.
Beautiful by Wallace. Finds his teammate Freeth.
They get the free kick downfield anyway for getting one after the kick.
Freeth goes inside 50, looking for Ronaldson. He can't take the mark, spoils. Ball on the ground, tapped out by Mannix. There's plenty of run here from Wallan from the half-back line. Davies goes out to Vianney. Vianney hasn't had as much impact in today's game. Kicks out wide, not a great kick again. It's just belted out in front by Tenaglia. He's going to put protection on Boyle again for his teammate out there, and I think that's Caruana. Goes with the handball into the middle of the ground. They're running and linking up beautifully at the moment, the Burrows. Caruana down towards half forward. Wallen's got the numbers. Ronaldson does well. Taps the ball down to Lob. Left foot snap to the top of the goal square. Jonkers versus Jensen. How's this going to play out? Jensen tries to step around. Handball back is beautiful. Swazenberg goal.
Well done.
Well done.
Jamie Lobb, well done for bringing that to the top, into the hot spot, top of the square, and giving his club the opportunity to kick that goal. That is a big lead now in this day.
Absolutely. But it's identifying strengths and weaknesses. Like
Absolutely.
Jamie identified that Ronaldson is hobbling. He can't run.
He's sitting at his feet now.
That's right. It's actually been probably a good thing for Lobby.
Yeah, well, true, but you'd put Ronaldson back in the square and just stand here and bring this to ground.
And that's like this entry when they tried to put Ronaldson on a lead.
Nah.
Don't do it. If you're going to go to him, you put some height on the ball.
And you've got to look after him for if there's the opportunity for next week. I mean, this is a big lead in this score.
Absolutely.
It is getting out to a big lead now for the Burrows. They are 8-2-50, leading Wallan 4-4-28.
It just proves that you and I know nothing about tipping football.
It looks that way at the moment. Jared looks like he's picked this one up.
Yep.
14-minute mark of the third quarter.
I don't want to say it's told.
There's something going on. It's a free kick
We got a
somewhere here.
6-6-6.
It's a Diggers free kick.
Free kick to Diggers. It will go to Weber in the middle of the ground. It's a shocking kick. Beautiful kick. It hit Jamie Lobb on the chest. He can't take the mark. Plays on to Caruana. Just bombs inside forward. 50 for Jensen. Bounces the wrong way and goes through for a behind.
Oh, they're starting to get a little bit on top here.
That's Caruana's second behind of the day. Diggers 8-3-51. Wallan 4-4-28.
7 inside 50s to 2.
Yeah,
Diggers have dominated this quarter. There's no doubt about it.
absolutely.
Wind's picking up again. That'll be a good sign for Wallan, but realistically, they really just need to hit the scoreboard here. Kick comes out towards Brock. Beautiful kick. He takes the mark, looks inboard, finds a teammate there in Cowenberg.
Well done.
He switches out wide to a runner that's picked up and kicked down towards half forward, and it's turned over again.
This is hurting them, isn't it?
Absolutely. They go back into the middle far too early.
Calvaresi is absolutely dominating that half-back line. The ball comes out wide to Taylor. He takes the mark just in front of the commentary box here.
He's looking for Jensen.
He goes inside 50 looking for Jensen in a one-on-one, and it was just way too good. Way too good.
Now, anybody wants to play forwards, have a look at that.
Absolutely. Just hold your ground, use your hip.
Jensen will line up for goal number 4, and I'll tell you what.
It's funny how we're talking about it just before, how we looked at Diggers. They're running up and down on the spot.
Yeah.
Now I guess it looks running up and down the spot. Wallan seem to be
hands on the knees and hands on the hips.
To hurt this. They need this one, and he's got it.
Okay.
Beautiful kick by Jensen. He's kicked his fourth, and the Boroughs are on their way at the moment. They are absolutely dominating. It is 9-3 to 4-4.
If there's any chance, they've got to start working the game, not the scoreboard, Wallan.
Yep.
Under their strength is their running, but they keep getting sucked into this contested stuff.
Well, they're getting out, but they're bringing it back in.
Yes.
And they're bringing it back into a contest. Just keep it out.
Absolutely. Diggers aren't going to chase them out.
No, not at all. But they're falling. They seem to be falling down. Look, they've got some big forwards fouling. They're falling down across half forward. They just can't seem to get it past there cleanly.
Yeah, there's no conduit between their defence and attack.
That centre circle to half forward is really just giving them grief.
Rucks will go at it again. Brock wins that one down. Shraven hasn't had much of this quarter. Kick off the ground, goes down towards half forward. I think that was Caruana. Goes down towards Mitch Day. He can't take it.
Read that well,
Tyquin read it well. Took it off Wallan. He did lose his feet. He dived on the foot. He has to be holding the ball.
No. Stay on your feet. Don't go to ground.
He dived on the footy. It should have been holding the ball.
This is where I would get frustrated.
I think you already are.
Rucks will go at it again. Weber versus Brock. Brock wins it down. Boyle can't take it cleanly. In there's Mannix. He just bustles his way through. Stevie Boyle finds the handball out to Shraven. This is the man they want. They want this man with the ball in his hand because he does that. He hits lace out to Matthew Perry. Perry swings out wide again. Kick the goal, Ricky. No, he pops the ball over the top.
That's better.
And he will find his teammate out there. I think that's Todd Muldoon running from the half-back line.
He's a far more patient and well thought-out forward entry because instead of just blazing and bombing, that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, what'd they do? Like I said, they went into the corridor late.
Yep.
Right, chipped, ran. Exactly right.
Yeah, no, it was good play.
It was good to see Perry actually come up the ground too.
Dude, and he's got to start pushing up because there's no point in him sitting back in the square. They got it? No, missed it.
Kick from Muldoon,
right.
misses near side.
Perry and them really do need to take some responsibility as senior leaders of this team and start pushing themselves up to where this hole is and fill it and start creating some contests.
Well, be involved. It's 3 inside 50s.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, he's not getting much of the ball.
Well, he's the mobile one. Fowler's got a sore shoulder. Leave him sitting back and
Yes.
do what they're doing down here and bring the ball back down to ground for him.
Wallan desperately need a goal here, and that's not going to help them. Basically
50.
uncontested. The umpire has called play on, though. Weber tries to kick it forward. I think he's basically kicked Fowler in the face. There's a big tackle there laid.
Could have played too high there.
And that's a little bit in this now, a little bit of push and shove. Wallan getting frustrated out there.
Well, that would hurt the Falcon, wouldn't it? Onto the cold day in Macedon. That's
Both
the last
mentally
place
and physically.
Brock wins the hit out the back towards Bonello. Laley tries to take it, but he runs out of bounds and we'll have a throw in.
In the last 4 stoppages, Wallan are actually getting hands off the ruckman first.
Yep. But he's not getting any shorter. That's the thing.
That's right.
The Diggers boys are jumping against him, but just can't get hands on the ball.
Rucks here, set to go at it again. Ball in. Brock wins it down again. Bonello gets first hands to it but can't win it. Diggers will get the stoppage out to Tyquin. Tyquin feeds the handball back.
Well-weighted handball.
Wallace has been sensational today. Ball goes down towards Day. He goes inside forward 50. Jensen can't take the mark. He keeps his feet though. Jonkers fell over. Jensen tries to take him on the tackle. Quick kick into the centre of the ground. It's dangerous. Lob spins. Right foot kick at goal. Touched.
Sometimes you've got to be a little bit selfish as a forward.
Gee, Jensen's starting to cause a headache for him down there now on these one-on-ones.
The Magpies, they've got to do something here. I think that's Baker. He comes out wide looking for Bonello in the centre of the ground. Bonello swings again, switches the ball. Out wide, finding Gilchrist. Gilchrist goes down towards the wing. It's a poor kick. Mullen doesn't take the mark, though. Leaves Wallan in with a chance here. Shraven is wrapped up by Paddy Jackson. Should have been pinged, wasn't. Play on, says the umpire. Will Brock has absolutely knocked out Andrew Tyquin. And he may have to have a look at something
Mullen's
next
down
week.
as well. Yeah, yep. Hopefully he's got children. I think Mullen's the worst one.
Yeah, Mullen's in a fair bit of strife there. Although he's shaking it off, he's not coming off.
That's what we want to see in football, fight to fight.
Brock did some damage then, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was going through everyone. Davies, handball comes out towards Mannix. He can't mark it. Paddy Jackson's thrown himself at everything. Laley goes down towards half forward, turns the footy over. No, the umpire calls play on. Kick into the middle of the ground. Nobody there, but it's Wallan that's going to get the numbers back first. Cohenberg, absolutely beautiful by Fogarty, but they've got the numbers there, Wallan. They can keep the build-up. Bonello, Matthew, handballs out to Davies. He goes long into the forward pocket. Players will fly. Can't take the mark. Ball hits the deck. Well done front and centre there. I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Mannix. I reckon Laurie just took Perry very high. Umpire says play on, and it's going
payback.
to be handball out. Delahaye knocks it forward. Tenaglia, he goes forward. What's going on here? I think this is umpire abuse, so we're going to get a free kick to Diggers down the ground.
Just started to lift the tempo a little bit, didn't it?
Well, they got to do something, mate. But they can't keep going the way they are because they're going to get steamrolled comfortably here. So if Wallan really need to up the pressure, up the ante, and try and get a bit of spirit back into the game for themselves.
Yeah, well, and Brock, that's what Brock, he's brought that. I mean,
he certainly did.
I think Tyker's wife's going to be happy with him, but
no. If he's married, it doesn't matter.
Honestly, with that's a really poor kick. Turned over straight away. Morris inside forward 50, and he turns it over. Paddy Jackson takes the mark in the mud pit. He tries to play on. Perry stepped over. Probably should have been 50. Laurie out wide. Got plenty of time. Lefty, and that's a shocker. Turned over. I'd really love to see Wallan throw Vianney up on the ball. Get him in the game. Speaking of the man, he just kicks the ball into the middle of the ground. Bonello takes the mark, plays on to Gilchrist. He's been good off that half-back line for the Magpies today. He will reset and look out wide for Fowler coming up in the football. Still looks like he's favouring that shoulder, and now he's over the line. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think there was anything untoward in that.
Go to the ground. If you're going to come that far here, go to ground.
Absolutely, try and get one.
Free kick. But even that kick to Fowler then, pretty poor.
Yeah, poor. The skills have dropped off in this quarter. Brock wins it down to Boyle. Boyle, quick kick out of there towards half forward. Taylor in front. Can't take the mark. Perry spoils. Delahaye storms through. Right foot down towards half forward. Wallan have the numbers again, but that man Jensen's there. He just storms through, picks it up, kicks back, trying to find Day. Steps around Bonello. Left foot kick out towards centre half forward. He's going to turn it
ambitious.
over.
That was a poor attempt to tackle from Bonello.
Cohenberg takes the mark, kicks out wide, finds Matt Bonello. He's going to handball over the top to Gilchrist, who hasn't stopped running. He looks up the field trying to find something and turns it over again.
Need to chase Yonkers off Jensen.
Jensen looks that's a beautiful kick from Delahaye. Unfortunately, dropped mark.
It was front on contact though.
From Wallace.
That is a good quarter from Diggers. They'd be thrilled to bits with that.
Another 23-minute quarter, but it is the Burras. 9-4-58 leading Wallan 4-5-29. And to be honest, if Wallace had held that mark, it would have been. It could have been a very, very, very different story going into the next quarter. But Wallan still have a sniff. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, lads.
So let's put the coaches' hats on.
You guys go.
Coaches' hats. Well,
what are we doing?
From a Wallan point of view, obviously, it's throw everything at it.
You have no choice. Yeah.
But understand what you need to do. Don't just go out there and play the game. You have the ability to run. Like I said, what does the coach do? Does he go motivational? Does he go tactical? I think at this point, with what we're seeing with Wallan, I think he needs to go probably a little bit more motivational. Yeah. He needs to draw on something, some emotion.
So the captains are in there at the moment trying to rev them up and keep them going.
Now, unfortunately, with motivation, it's not a great thing all the time because it's a sign of desperation.
It is a last resort, especially in the preliminary final at three-quarter time and you're down. Look, if I was a Wallan coach, what would I be doing? I'd be getting all my good eggs and putting them in one basket and throwing my best forwards up high. So you've now got to start working up high. There's no point us. We can't get it down to you. We're going to put you up to half forward and we're going to work through you to get it down.
Yep. That's the key because they're winning centre clearances.
Absolutely. Right? He's well on top of the ruck, and I'm just wondering when Diggers are actually going to wake up that every time he goes for the ruck, he's just bringing it down to his feet.
Yeah. So, and you're right. So, if they're actually winning the centre clearances, they're getting the ability they're coming out of stoppage, and they're coming front wall out of stoppages. Get your forwards up because with these conditions, the ball is not going to carry deep, unfortunately. Yep. So, you get Perry, Greenlee, get them to play across that half forward.
Yep.
At least it goes over their head. He got the speed to run onto it.
Well, the other thing is Fowler's obviously injured with a sore shoulder. Put him deep in forward line, like what they were doing with Ronaldson.
Yes.
Diggers, just have him in the goal square to get it down to the ground, and then do what Lobby and them were doing. Get down to his feet when the ball hits the ground, and give yourself an opportunity to kick a goal.
Well, the good thing and bad thing, but the good thing about a injured player on the ground, he becomes very predictable, especially to you. And for Lobby, I thought Ronaldson being injured drew Robbie back into the contest.
Yep.
I thought he was sitting too wide and trying to use his space to come in. But all of a sudden he realised Ronaldson can't get up to him. He's coming up more. He's getting better front and centre, and he's starting getting shots on goal.
So now we're coaching Diggers.
Now we're coaching Diggers. Well, Diggers, I would not go motivational with them.
No.
I would go sit there and say, we've still got a job to do.
Absolutely.
Understand what we've done up to this point has worked.
Yep.
And so I would sit there and say, make sure defensively, and look, we know what they're going to do. So try and get in the mindset of the opposition as well. They're going to throw everything at us. We've just got to be calm.
Yep.
Be smart.
Positional moves. The only thing I probably do is probably just because of his smarts. We saw it a few times now. I'd probably, if I was the captain coach like Lobby is down there, I'd probably sit myself between half forward and the forward pocket just to play that smart forward role and give the space, set it up, because that's where it can fall over for him. But, like Jensen is so far on top. I mean, he's absolutely dominating. And that's something that Nolan's got to look at as the coach of Wallan. He needs to find an answer to stop Jensen.
Well, I was watching Yonkers for the last two contests with Jensen, and he actually watches Jensen first.
Yeah, and
he doesn't worry about the contest at all. He waits and actually waits for him to get the ball.
He's got to do what May and them do it, like with Melbourne. Just watch the ball and go for the footy.
Absolutely.
Because there's no point watching, because then you've got to find the ball again and create your own position. So
if you get someone like Jensen forward, I'd say Ronaldson in the square.
Yep.
Get Jensen probably 10 metres up. So if they do get that centre clearance, he can get space by himself, but then get him up the ground.
Yeah. And the Diggers, the Diggers have just got to keep going, let's be honest.
Yes.
They're going really well. Yep, they're kicking this quarter. They're kicking, I suppose, to the non-scoring end, but they've got to find 5 goals, Wallan, to win it.
But the one thing I would say, if you do look at motivational 2 Diggers rest, I would say about fight the fight. Understand small hurts. You've got scratches, you've got bruises, but understand the outcome of you getting past that.
It won't hurt tonight when they've got a grand final next week.
That's right. It's a grand final.
Absolutely.
That's what's on stake. Everybody knows it. So, like I said, it's about who's willing. It's actually about who's willing not to play in the grand final, to do whatever it takes to get into the grand final.
No, 100% true.
Now, if we can, they can deliver that. They're home and host.
Well, they've certainly got the front position. Let's be honest. When you're 5 goals up and then the opposition's only kicked 4 goals themselves, can they kick twice their score this quarter? Well, it's not beyond them. Let's be honest. They can kick a big score, but heavy ground, and are they playing well enough? No, they're not playing smart enough, and we've said it a few times where they just come in far too early.
Yeah.
They come off that half-back flank, and then they want to keep bringing it in. They've got to come down to wing and start bringing in at centre-half forward at least. But, you can see how much of a glue pot it is. Why bring it in at all?
Yes, I agree.
Just start coming out and start playing a little bit wider between the flank and the boundary and come into goal that way. So
Daniel's also got to tell his boys, first 5 minutes, you kick 2 goals the first 5 minutes.
You're back in.
You're in the game, but what's Diggers thinking then?
Yeah, their mindset's going,
and the big thing for me is, Diggers have done well to clog up their forward line all day. Clear that space out.
Yeah,
get everybody up the ground. Isolate Perry deep if you have to. Yeah. But realistically, every time they've looked like scoring a goal is when they have space forward of the footy.
Well, the greatest mistake Diggers can make right now is to try and save this game.
Oh, absolutely.
And try and just go, we're just going to put the clamps on Wallan and just come home by this margin.
Yep.
They just got to keep playing what they've been doing, because that can fall over real quick. And if they get their confidence in their head up, watch out.
And you can see what they can. So you can see what they can do in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Wallan, they've got speed.
Oh, absolutely. They can score quick.
I'm pleased to see that they've got Vianney in on the ball, isolating Grinley and Perry deep. Get all the other forwards out. Let these 2 go to work, because this quarter and the rest of this game is just going to be all about momentum.
But using Perry and Grinley where they are, look at the footwork, the foot area they've got to work in.
That's right.
They need to be either pushed out into pockets, or one of them play high and one play low and give themselves an option, because they fall down horrendously across half forward.
Diggers have done what we've talked about. Ronaldson's in the goal square. You've got Jensen 10 metres in front of him. Yep. So if they get this quick clearance,
and Lobby's sitting down there in a pocket, so they must be listening to us, mate.
Yeah,
maybe we're just geniuses.
Yeah. Oh, we don't like to gloat, but someone's got to say it, I suppose.
So last quarter of football ahead of us. We are Diggers Rest 58, Wallan 29, 4-5-29, 9-4-58. Big last quarter for both teams. Who's going to go through to a grand final next week? In the under-19s football, Wallan went through to the grand final, winning by 2 points. In the reserves, it was Diggers Rest by 33 points, going through to the granny. 19s netball, Macedon through after defeating Wood End. Heskett, C grade, Macedon through. B grade, Diggers Rest through, and A grade, Diggers Rest through.
Make a statement, Will. Sorry, Gareth.
Rucks go at it. Knocked down by Will Brock. There's no numbers around, or well, all the numbers are around the ball at the moment. It ain't going very far out of that bog, but we're going to have another bounce here as secondary. And this is where we need to find a little bit of space here. The Magpies just have to clear this football out, get it inside forward 50 and start hitting the scoreboard. Brock wins the hit out. Bonello just punches forward. Might have got Taylor too high. Fogarty definitely got his opponent Shraven too high, but the umpire says, no, I will bounce it.
They've been pretty good today.
Yeah, they have.
Until this next free kick.
Brock knocks it out over the head of Shraven. Bonello creates some space. Boyle out in front of Fogarty. Fogarty falls into his side. Did well not to give away a free. Great tackle there from Laley, and we'll have another bounce.
Wallan has got to watch that. Don't get too frustrated if things don't go right for the first 5 minutes. Still another 20 minutes to go after it.
Brock and Krull. Krull wins that one down towards Davies. He just taps it out over the top. Again, Brock just smashes forward towards Bondello. He's wrapped up by Taylor. And we'll have our fourth bounce in about 30 seconds.
This falls exactly the way Diggers Rest want it to be.
Rucks go at it again. Krull wins it down. Fogarty gets taken a bit high. Free kick paid. Laley just a little bit excited there in that tackle. Fogarty will take the free kick right in front of the commentary box. And this is where Wallan just has to get some momentum here. They've got to force a turnover. They've got to hit the scoreboard early.
Not yet, nothing silly.
Fogarty is just going to go down the line. Kicked towards half forward. Too strong in the marking contest to Muldoon. He takes the mark. Muldoon now looking to move the football inside. Gets and finds Shraven. Shraven on the left. Down towards Vianney. Oh, well done, Jackson. Oh, he's done his knee, Jackson's gone down. As Calvarezzi picks the footy up, finds his teammate out on the far wing. I think that's Jensen. Long way up the ground. He settles and kicks towards half forward over the back.
I reckon he might have cramped.
Gilchrist, handball to Davies. They're feeding the football forward. They must hit the scoreboard. Laley again. Left foot kick down towards half forward. We're going to fly. Punch from out the back was from Morris. He can't get the ball on the ground. Diggers have got the numbers there and they're going to clean it up. Taylor, he gets his kick just before Perry catches him and he finds Krull on
Norton
centre
down
wing.
behind.
Yeah, some sore boys there.
There's some very sore boys. Jackson still, I think you need to get him off.
Krull goes down towards half forward. Brock, he flies. Can't take the mark. Muldoon was there as well. Boyle on the ground, spins. Gets a handball to Davies. Davies feeds to Muldoon. Muldoon providing run from half back. Kicks down towards Vianney. Well done, Schwarzenberg. 2-on-1 though. And Ricky Shraven, the dangerous Ricky Shraven, onto the left. And it's always a worm burner. Over the top. Perry comes up at the footy. He swings a handball inside. Finds Morris. Morris back to Davies. Davies will look for Grinley. Grinley's coming down. Vianney hitting front and centre. Bad bounce for Grinley, but he stayed in the contest. Created the turnover from his Diggers opponent. Vianney inside to Laley. Great spoil. Yep. Diggers Rest just getting that timely fist in, and Taylor will get the clearing kick out towards Krull. Krull takes the mark. Halfback. What a fantastic coverage spoil that was.
They're very good in defence, Diggers Rest.
Very good defensive patterns they're running, aren't they?
Krull goes back across the face of goal to Taylor.
They've actually got Lawton sitting back.
It's stagnant footy. It's not like...
I think Diggers are in a hurry.
No, I think they're happy to take some time off the clock now. Taylor just pops it over the top.
There's Lawton.
Yep, Lawton just found the space. Wallan just has to close down here. They can't allow these uncontested marks. Diggers are going to try and take time off the clock. You need to be able to turn it over and hit the scoreboard. Gilchrist across the front. Great grab.
You stole it out of the
it's nearly 50.
Nearly 50. Swings the ball in board.
Well done,
so fly. Shraven couldn't take the mark. Down towards Vianney. Using that pace. Knocks it out towards Morris. But the pressure out there is from Delahaye. He's been solid back there. Great chase by Morris. Forced the turnover. Right foot snap inside 50.
Well done.
But Fogarty sitting in a nice spot. Takes a mark.
Geez, they're working hard defensively, Diggers, aren't they?
I think they're going to try and take every punch that Wallan can throw at them here and just stand their ground.
It's very stagnant football, isn't it, for something that's so much on the line here. I mean, even Wallan themselves look incredibly stagnant.
Laurie goes down towards half-back. Punch, spoil. Boyle kicks towards half forward. Vianney picks it up. Handball to Morris. Morris tries to go back to Gilchrist. Turns it over with a tough handball. It is Calvarezzi again, who has been sensational across half-back. Wrapped up Schwarzenberg. Fantastic tackle.
Ooh.
He's in a 3-on-1 almost over there, and he's done so well. Brock does well to feed the football out, but Diggers have now got the numbers. Lob goes to Freeth. Freeth kicks into the man on the mark. He keeps hustling, pushing the ball forward. Wallan now over the ball. That's Cox. He tries to feed the handball out towards Bonello. Players are just diving in all over the ball now. It's a bit flat, but coming out is Caruana in towards Jensen. He's marked. He's played on into an open goal. That's number 5.
They're home and a home now. And it's an early call for me, but I don't think they're going to get it now. If you're a coach and you're going to show your players what you should do, what Schwarzenberg did over on that wing, beating 2-on-1s, is the video review you're going to do on Monday night to show these players the desperation that it takes to win a grand final, get into one.
Well, how old is he? Any idea?
Only be a young fellow like 18, 19,
yes,
I would have
that's
thought.
what you want, the enthusiasm of youth.
Oh.
He just, like I said, he never gave up at any point. And it's just a reward, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that goal's here, so I mean, let's be honest, without that hard work, Wallan were off.
Diggers 10-4-64, Wallan 4-5-29, and it is getting to desperate stations now for the Magpies. They just had to. They've got a 6-6-6 again.
A free kick here in this one, isn't it? No.
Yeah.
How many warnings do you get? 2, isn't it?
One.
No, it's one warning.
Okay.
So the Rucks will go at it again. Krull knocks it down. Beautiful leap. Well done by Vianney. Knocks it forward, trying to keep the Magpies ticking over. Coming through is Bonello. Picks it up. One grab. Beautiful. Handball over the top to Boyle. Stevie Boyle's got to pick this football up. Just a little bit of a fumble. Fogarty does well with good pressure. Mullen feeds the handball out the back. Delahaye. He's just going to try and settle now. Mullen gets it again. Kicks down towards half forward, or towards the wing, sorry. And Jensen coming a long way up,
Krull
takes
on
the
the
mark.
inside.
Jensen looks towards Krull. He can't take the mark. Spoiled over the back. Will Brock gets over the football. He just drops it in the Wallace tackle. Wallace goes again. Beautiful work. Handball to Jensen. Kick inside 50. Finds Mitch Day.
The question you got to ask, why is Brock being the rover on that occasion?
Yes.
Where's the Smalls? They're not working hard enough to the contest.
Beautiful build up again for the Boroughs, and that all started from the Fogarty pressure out on half back.
Yeah.
They were able to move the football forward.
Oh, they'll enjoy the next 15 minutes of football.
He gets his.
This to make it very, 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 very hard if it's not already impossible.
No, you're too very short there.
Day, deliberate kick. Umpire's moving a bit. It goes across the face and one behind to Mitch Day.
All right, it's time for no risk football here, for full risk football. Straight down the middle. Let's just go the shortest way.
Yeah. High risk, high return. That's it.
He's gone the barrel. That's a beauty. It's just about to set a wing. Fowler knocks the ball to ground. Gilchrist fumbles, but goes back and gets it again. Does well, Gilchrist.
That's holding
unfortunately,
the ball.
I have too high.
Free kick.
The third one in. That was Mullen. Bit silly. Gives away the free kick. Probably lucky. Was going to get pinged then, I would have thought, but that third tackler was the one that did it. Gilchrist out wide towards Vianney. He knocks the ball to ground. They've got the numbers now, the Magpies. They go inside forward 50. Fogarty well placed again, but he fumbles this time. Fowler just bashes it forward to Boyle. Stevie Boyle swings a handball out wide to his teammate who's going to walk into goal, and that is a desperately needed one.
And look at the enthusiasm.
Yeah,
they
it's
kick
not
a
there, is
goal.
it?
There's nothing there for them at the moment. Because one of the things you've probably noticed is when Wallan have the football, there's no run from behind. They get the ball and they look forward and everyone's running back steps up onto the wings to create an option. Where's the run from behind to carry the ball over the line?
Well, I look at that contest and, yes, they kicked the goal, but I look at Schoenberg, who put his body on the line.
Yep.
Fogs, it bounced the wrong way, but he tacked the ball. So they're still doing what they need to do.
Oh, absolutely. And look, you can tell the spirit of Wallan.
Yes.
There was nothing. I mean, there was not even hardly a whisper from the crowd here.
That was Sean Morris's second goal of the day. Wallan 5-5-35, Diggers 10-5-65. Krull wins the hit out again to Mullen. Mullen out of the centre, goes long into the pocket looking for Jensen. He loses this one.
He's been good, Mullen. He's done really well out of the midfield.
Beautiful mark back there by Cox. He will look to settle again, but Wallan, they just can't afford to settle now. They've got to go. Move the ball to space like that. Malzoon. He's going to take off. Well done. Smart. Kick into the middle of the ground.
Great. Lower your eyes. That's what
Morris takes the mark. Last goal
There we
kicker.
go, and there's
Gives
run
to the
from
runner.
behind.
Muldoon through the centre of Macedon. Off the side of the boot, was trying to torp. Fowler, not sure what he was doing, but bashed forward by Bondello. That's a really good knock forward.
There
Out
we
to
go.
Boyle. Boyle running into an open goal. He's kicked
That's
it.
Now there's a little bit of life.
Now there's hope.
All brought back from a bit of run from behind and being able to carry the ball through the line.
Have courage to take the game on.
It is, and that's what they've got to start doing. I mean, they've got plenty to lose, but I mean, they're running out of time. They have to do this now.
6-5-41, 10-5-65. It's the Boroughs leading by 24 points, 4 goals in it, but 2 goals in a minute. We've only had sort of 23, 24-minute quarters today, and we're already at 10.5, so...
On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard?
On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
That's our first time we mentioned it today.
It is.
We're obviously not on commission.
No. So we're back in the centre. If they kick another one here quickly, it'll make things bloody interesting.
yeah.
It will certainly will. Next goal wins.
I'm happy to
Can't go
cheer
that
for
far.
it. Come on, Magpies. Let's make this a game. As Brock goes up, I think Kroll might have won that one too. Jesse Davies dives in over the football. Kroll goes in and gets it, picks it up, stands up, gets tackled, and we'll have a bounce.
That's what you want. You want some life in the game.
Yep. That's good. I mean, earlier in the quarter they were going the man a little bit, Wallan.
Yeah.
They were starting to get frustrated. They've concentrated, got their head back over it again.
Beautiful
They're
tap by
out
Brock to
again.
Bonello. They're out again. Makitic, handball over the top. He's going to get a free kick for a hold. Get back, move the football.
That's probably the best result for Diggers because they are out.
Harry's
and
got
off
space
them.
on the fat side.
Makitic got some room. Kick inside 50.
Oh.
Greenley!
Yeah, have they
Here
taken
we
the foot off the
go.
accelerator,
Yeah.
Diggers?
Plenty of space there for Greenley and Perry to work in. And Greenley will go back, line up for his second of the day. Massive kick here because if he kicks this, it brings it back to 18 points.
He's got the wind behind him. You can see the Wallan flag out now the ground blowing quite strongly down that end. So
Greenley steps inside the forward 50. This is a decent run up. Gets in, does that stutter. Kick is on its way, and he has missed to the left-hand side. Geez, that would have been a big goal.
that would have been a monster goal.
But what that means is that it's now...
23 points?
Yeah, 23. We're not going to have a draw in that sense. Taylor under pressure. Boyle does well. He's played a brilliant game today. Laurie goes back to Taylor. He kicks down towards half forward looking for Lawton, who has done a brilliant
He
job
has.
today.
Yeah, protected his space really well then.
Yep.
Lawton pops it over the top
Oh,
looking
Fogs.
for Fogarty.
Well, that's a free kick.
That's a free kick. Makitic, you must keep your eye on the footy.
Oh, and 50. Oh, he's tried to milk it.
Yeah,
He's
of
a
course he
popular
has.
person, Fogarty, isn't he?
He's the type. I shouldn't say this because his mother might be listening. He's the type of head they all want to bash when they're out in the field. But that's what you want out there.
Fogarty now will kick straight down the line. He's going to look for a target at centre half forward. Caruana comes storming through, can't take it
Outside
with
area,
him.
free there.
Delahaye, great handball.
Gents.
Finds Freeth. He goes down towards Mitch Day. Can't take the mark. Bounces back though. Hits the ground. Saves the ball inside. Kick. Top of the
Oh,
square.
look at this.
Jensen again. Takes the mark. Plays on.
well
Goal
done.
number 6. And it is good night, Irene.
Mitch Day, you take a bow for that, mate. Your
absolutely.
work on the boundary line was sensational. He doesn't go to ground. He's one of these players
Yes.
that just seems to hold his feet.
I think that's been important today too. And Jensen the same. He just doesn't go to ground.
And that was, a good choice. A true forward would have had a shot, so he's not part of the forwards club. But to put it to the top of square to advantage of Jensen to kick that goal, that is good play. Take a bow, mate. That was great.
Fantastic kick.
6 goals to Mitch Jensen. 11-5-71, 6-6-42.
John gets to be having nightmares tonight, won't he?
It's a long way back from here. As Stevie J will ball it up again, we are almost 14 minutes into this quarter. Most quarters have been,
Now what's happened is, God, the boundary umpires like being involved.
looks like it's
Free kick.
free kick,
6-6-6, was it?
possibly, or someone going in early. Don't know. Matthew Kroll down towards half forward. Freeth has found a lot of space today. Freeth was going to go to, I think that might have been Ronaldson. Didn't end up going there. Goes to Day. Oh, he drops a sitter in the
he's got
end.
one high.
Did all the hard work and then dropped an absolute soda. Wallace goes back in, feeds the handball back. Ronaldson around his body. That's just going to go on the full. And it will be a free kick to Wallan.
Just over the line.
Just over the line. We may not ever see that football again.
It's in that creek, mate. But the way the water's running there, it'll be in Gisborne in about 2 minutes.
Magpies 6-6, Diggers 11-5. The Boroughs have played a complete game today. They really have. At times we thought they might have run out of legs, but they've just kept on going all day.
Yeah, it's been a
They've managed the game really well.
Freeth gets the spoil in on Boyle, who wraps up the tackle, and we'll have another bounce, but Freeth, really good effort there.
We do need Wallan to kick another goal, but
Yeah.
Well, you got him in the tipping at that
I had
level.
him 23 points.
Rucks will go at it again. Mannix in the ruck this time against Krull. Mannix wins it down. Caruana's there in the mud pile. We may not ever see those players again.
I think they need to do a head count after the game.
Hey, we've said it early in the day, and as usual, I was wrong completely, but the older and experienced heads of Diggers have actually shown up a little bit here today.
Oh, they certainly have.
And there's no doubt the conditions have helped them.
Oh, yeah.
It's slowed the game down.
Krull wins the hit out straight into the umpire. I think that was Delahaye, just slams it on the boot, pushes it forward. Wallace in low with the tackle. Fantastic tackle, takes his opponent, Matty Bonello, over the line, and we'll have a throw in.
Tackling for both sides today has been
very good.
really good.
But you're saying about the speed, whilst Diggers lack speed through the corridor, their forward is very quick.
Oh,
their forward half is very, very quick.
Rucks will go at it again. It's Mullen tries to win it out of there. Boyle picks it up. Handball back to Jonkers. Jonkers gets taken high. Shraven is going to try and take the advantage, but the umpire will bring it back. And it will be a free kick to Jonkers in the back pocket.
The thing with Diggers at the moment, and for next week for even Riddle to consider, they've got multiple avenues to goal.
Yeah.
You know, it's not only just...
Oh,
just
great
using,
mark. That's probably 50 too.
It should be 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Morris, unfortunately, a little bit
frustration.
overzealous. It is frustration.
He's cramping up
Paddy Jackson
horrendously,
is cramping up everywhere right now.
Oh, he's going to be driving home, and that speed, the accelerator will be on the floor with the cramp.
I feel like cramping just watching him. Yeah, but yeah, there is. Just touching on what you said, there is one group of people here who actually would be enjoying this contest and how hard it's been, and that's the Riddle players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the amount of like you said, the tackling and the contested ball. Yeah,
they'll be sore boys, and it won't be a week of training, a week of recovery this week.
It's going to be huge planning from Jamie and his coaching staff. And
Well, you've done all your training to this time of the year. You don't have to do anything stupid.
No, it's now it's about obviously looking at the age and.
Absolutely.
Just being smart.
This week's recovery, that's all it is. Maybe a pool run on Tuesday night, whatever the case may be.
Well,
let's
see how
on
financial
Thursday.
Diggers rest are. Do they have pickle juice on their boundary line?
But except probably Paddy Jackson, I wouldn't get him to go for a swim. He'd probably drown.
Yes.
He'd end up cramping and drown. So I'd say just stay away from any water.
As Jackson comes off after that goal, that's his first of the day. Diggers 12-5-77, Wallan 6-6-42. And what an outstanding performance it's been from the Boroughs.
You can just tell the players walking past, they know this is over. This is hurting. And they'll be disappointed, Wallan, let's be really honest.
Absolutely.
I mean, after the fair flogging they gave them in the early final series, they would have come in today fairly confident they were going to go through. So it's really, they'd be incredibly disappointed as a club.
You would, and you'd have the expectation that Diggers were going to come at them.
Yeah.
Too. They're smart enough. Daniel's actually a really good coach.
Oh, absolutely.
So he's smart enough to know that.
Boyle won the football forward. Vianney couldn't take control of it. Fowler lays the tackle for the Boroughs.
And they weren't out
for the Magpies, sorry.
They haven't been out of the game.
No, not at all.
It's only probably the second half. The third quarter was obviously the premiership quarter, like you said.
There was probably, if you watch the tape back, there's probably about 5 or 6 decisions they made coming forward which really hurt them and gave the opportunity for Diggers to go the other way.
Makitic inside forward 50, down towards Grinley. He just bobbles it in front of himself and tries to feed the handball back to Perry, but can't find him. Taylor over the head handball, finds Perry. Perry handball to Grinley. Grinley feeds the handball out wide to Vianney. Vianney around the body with a dribbler. He had 2 players there and he has missed everything.
I think it's gone out. Yep.
Yeah, took 45 minutes to go out, but it went out.
Some tired boys out there right now.
We'll have a throw in. I think everyone's resigned to the result here, so this might be going through the motions a little bit to finish this one off.
We've approximately about 4 minutes left.
Yeah, based on most of the quarters, maybe 6. But Rucks will go at it again. Krull wins it down, out over the back. Tried to get his kick away, but wasn't able to.
He's been good today.
He has been a sensational Calvarezzi. Gets it towards the wing. Muldoon knocks it down to Mannix. Mannix back to Jonkers. Jonkers out wide to Bonello. He's going to run and carry the football to the 50. It's a shank out towards the pocket, and it'll go out of bounds for another throw-in. 19 and a half minutes gone. the Boroughs leading this one by 35 points.
So now comes to team management now, doesn't it, for Diggers?
Does bring the old.
What do you do?
Bring the old ones off. Probably half the team will be
There's half
coming
the
off.
team gone.
Ball comes back in. Kroll versus Brock. Ball bounces in front of both of them. Comes out the back. Brock just smashes it over towards Gilchrist. Gets a funny bounce, and there's that man again, Calvarezzi. Left foot kick out towards the wing. This is Mullen and the other Bonello, Matt, out there on the wing. Just going to fight for this one, run it over the boundary line.
Just bring it out.
Okay, Bonello wraps him up in a tackle, and I think Mullen just handballed it straight out of bounds. We'll have a throw in right on centre wing with the Boroughs leading by 35 points.
Oh, they're all cramping up, the Diggers boys. They're really sore.
Would be, it is, the ground is soft. It'd be, you'd have heavy legs running around in that.
Had heavy legs walking here.
Yeah. Ball comes in. Kroll just knocks it towards the boundary line again. Schraven leads in the race for this one. He's going to take it over again and kick the ball into the fence.
Kicked that out in the full then, the Diggers, Wallan boy.
And I'm not sure, maybe on the full. Okay, so free kick is going to the Boroughs, and it'll go to Josh Wallace.
That was just frustration.
Yeah.
Wallace squares it up, finds Caruana, being very good today in the middle of the ground for the Boroughs.
It's a good return by Caruana.
Yeah, really good return. He swigs back out towards Wallace again. They're just going to take some time off the clock here. He goes back 50 metres to Fogarty.
This is rubbing salt into the wound a bit, isn't it?
Fogarty goes into the middle of the ground. That's Chris Lawton who takes the mark. He swings back out again towards Delahaye.
They stopped to a walk, Wallan.
Yeah. You've still got to play the game out.
Not much going to happen here in this last couple of minutes, I don't think.
No.
Fogarty takes the mark again on half-back.
So they must be getting paid by per possession.
Yeah. So we've got 5 uncontested marks. There's
Another
6.
Delahaye's going to take another uncontested mark. He'll play on and kick over the top to Freeth.
Yeah, 7. They've stopped to a walk.
Freeth will square it up for Laurie.
Well, 7 kicks. We still haven't got past half back yet.
Just taking the time off the clock now.
There's another one out wide.
Kicks out wide to Mullen. He can't take the mark.
Backman.
And the ball rolls it out of bounds.
It's normally Ruckman, isn't it?
Throw in right half forward for Wallan. Wallan's attacking end. Diggers 12-5, 77. Wallan 6-6, 42.
Yeah, life's definitely gone out of the game now.
Yeah, has it ever.
This one is all over bar the shouting. The ball comes down to Morris. He feeds a handball underneath towards Boyle. Boyle feigns a handball, goes back to Bonello. Bonello with a long attempted torp inside 50. Grinley underneath the foot. He can't take the mark. Ball's knocked out. There's plenty of numbers there for the Magpies. If they can get through, Laley, he's under the pump and the tackle, but the umpire calls play on, and then I think that's Vianney wrapped up.
Gee, the Diggers defenders have been good.
Yeah.
And they've just given nothing away. They're gang tackling. They're just desperate.
Ball goes up again. Brock wins the ruck down, tap down. I don't know who that was that had a snap a goal, but we got one behind.
That's what you want to see from your back 6. Just desperation. You know.
That back 6 hasn't changed nearly all game. That's been they're a tight bunch, that back 6.
I actually think the change part was that their wingers actually started to push back and
help them out.
Yeah, help them out.
Yeah.
Burrows to bring the ball back in, kick out towards half back, and there's Calvarezzi again. I haven't seen much of him before this year, but gee, he's been impressive today off that half back line.
Yeah, I've seen him quite a bit. He's actually quite an impressive footballer.
So where'd he come from in EDFL, was it?
Yeah, do the Stars.
Doodles.
Handball from Bonello out into the middle. That was Matt Bonello to Boyle. He goes inside 50 and finds a teammate. I think is Corey Vianney, who will line up for goal.
I know Diggers chased him quite hard over pre-season. He was a priority for him.
Yep.
Vianney pops it over the top and finds a teammate. Wallan pushing back. Morris, he's been solid today. Morris played a really good game.
I'm surprised you guys at Keeler let one slip through, mate. Normally gets to you guys and stops.
No.
Morris.
Got enough point system, mate. Kills you.
Morris with a set shot on goal. This will be for his 3rd. It's not going to hold its line and one behind. So that will take the Magpies to 6-8-44. Diggers.
Should be very close to the end now. She's 24-minute mark.
12-5. Kick comes out towards half back, and I think that's Wallace again takes the mark.
Bit of self-preservation mode now.
Yes. Let's not get hurt for next week.
Nothing silly.
Kick out wide goes to Laurie again. the skipper for the Boroughs.
You got Fox calling it 50 metres backwards.
Pops it out over the top. Oh, Bonello just goes bang.
Well, if you're going to go down swinging.
Well, that looks like that's exactly what he's planning to do as the ball feeds out the back to Stevie Boyle. He kicks into the middle of the ground. Played a great game today, Stevie Boyle. Finds Cox. Cox will kick into the middle of the ground to Shraven.
Now they've got some space.
Ricky Shraven with that left boot goes over the top, finds Vianney. Vianney with a handball over the top again to Morris. Morris will kick for his third, and Grinley takes the mark on the goal line. And we'll go back and line up for his second of the day.
Check side, round the corner.
Round the corner he goes, and he has missed.
It's a story of their day, I'm afraid.
Grinley's got 1-2 on the day. That's 6-9 to the Magpies, 12-5 to the Borough. Comprehensive victory today for Diggers Rest.
Yes.
They will be very, very pleased, and we get another Diggers Rest versus Riddle grand final. Geez, we haven't seen many of them.
Oh, we could.
Yeah. When was the last time Diggers Rest missed finals?
This
been a while.
would be a very, very long.
Club.
But that goes for a lot of those sides that are in the top 5 at the moment, let's be honest.
There is a big gap, let's be honest, between the top 5 and the bottom 5.
But I think Riddle's actually dropped out at some point. Over the last
it was a very long time
20
ago.
years, last 20 years.
Very long time ago they did. But what would this be? Diggers versus Riddle, like Diggers versus Riddle 9?
I think we called the last one, didn't we? There it is.
And there's the siren. The Boroughs will go through to the grand final in 2022 to take on Riddle. And it was just a absolute. They dominated today.
Yeah, I think they're too tired to celebrate, Diggers. But you're right. It's a hard slog.
Yep.
They were smart, weren't they? It was actually really well coached by Jamie and their coaching staff. They were smart in what they did. They drew Wallan into the contest and never allowed them back. Like I said, their back six was fantastic. I think, obviously what we say is when we win, it's normally because your forwards and your midfield play well, and you lose your backman, it's because you're backman. But today I think they've got to actually stand up and take some applause because they were fantastic today.
No. And the desperation of the way they were throwing themselves in and out around the contest. They didn't win the midfield.
No.
At all. Wallan were on top there, but they were able to rebound. Probably not from half back, from even probably deeper down in their defence, and rebound out quite well. They were smart. They were prepared to switch, and they didn't come back in too early. And they gave to give you Jensen the opportunity to kick 6 today.
6, yep.
In really heavy conditions. They held it open for him. Lobby sat down there and marshalled the troops around the forward line. Look, really well coached. Well done, Diggers. A great effort. Bitterly disappointed for Wallan. This is the one I reckon they probably have let slip. Yep. If you can, look back on the year and say, well, this was our opportunity and our chances. This was Wallan's opportunity.
But we talk about their back six and how good they were. But I thought one thing about Diggers, they had players come in and have 5 or 10 minutes of brilliance. I thought Crowley started the game exceptionally well.
Lawton out in the wing.
Lawton on the wing. Yeah. And that's what you want to see, because you can't play 4 quarters of high quality football.
So you look at it. There's some really tired boys cramping up horrendously there. They're going to front up again next week against a Riddle who have had a week off.
Yeah.
Who came off a good win against Wallan a couple of weeks ago. They're full of confidence. They're flying on top of the ground. Playing out at Romsey Park, which hasn't had a lot of football on it like this has for a while. Yep. So if we get a reasonable week, it's going to be dry. It's going to be hard for them. Riddle are a fast side. Yep. It's going to be tough. But let's be honest, they surprised us all today, and if they can do this again, they'll give Riddle a real shake.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that they surprise some people.
Surprise us.
I don't want to gloat, but they do. They surprise some people. But you're 100% right. How do they recover over the next 7 days?
Yep. Because
it is crucial. But we've seen history when you think that Riddle obviously got to go in raging favourites.
Oh, absolutely.
Quicker, fitter.
We've called it before. Riddle can lose discipline. We've seen that happen in grand finals before with them, and it all fall apart. So, I think they've learned some lessons along the way. They're probably, if you want to say a club's due for a premiership, it probably is due for one.
Yep.
The Bombers. But, the boys from Wallan, they're incredibly disappointed at the moment. But, they'll be back. They'll be back next year. So they don't want to hear that right now because they want to be there next week. But the reality is Wallan are only going to get stronger and stronger in this competition. And their days will come.
No
and
doubt.
they will learn a lot from this today.
They don't need a lot either.
No, not at
all.
all.
So their recruiting can be really specific in what they want to do.
The only thing you'd probably if I was, I'd probably try and get them in. They're all, maybe it's Collingwood colours. Maybe they're fairly heavy set looking boys. Maybe just try and get a bit more speed around out wide. That's the only thing I'd be looking for.
Yep.
Recruiting. Apart from that, I think they've got everything else they need to put it together. I mean, they've absolutely smashed teams this year. Today wasn't their day, but yeah, they'll be disappointed.
Well, it's a feeling of emptiness because you've gone the whole season. You're 4 quarters away from the grand final. That's been taken away from you.
I think what will hurt, it's not been a 98-point turnover. It's about a 123-point turnover.
That's right.
From last time they played was only 2 weeks ago. I mean, that's an enormous flip of the coin. So that would sting. Knowing that you've had a team on wood and had their best measures, and yet they've got you when it really counted.
So the question would be now, we'll give them a bit of advertising, the Bendigo Bank Player of the Day.
I think that's Jensen for me. Anyone kicked 6 goals in a prelim.
Yeah.
But the ball got down to him by some good play from the midfielders as well. But
absolutely. I thought Taylor Hine early set the tone. Crowley.
Yeah, Crowley.
Calvarizzi, he was fantastic all day.
6 goals from a key forward in this heavy conditions, I think. Probably, if I...
So you played as a forward when you were growing up?
Pretty much that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that mark he took turned the game because that gave Diggers, they got some enthusiasm, some life out of that hanger. And they came from that point onwards. I don't think Wallan even kicked another goal. Maybe got one in the last quarter. But they certainly, that just gave them the spark. They kicked a couple of quick ones afterwards. And they're up and running from that performance.
The only criticism I had about that mark is he just didn't milk the camera long enough.
No, true. Yeah. And our cameraman didn't do a replay, so we're a bit disappointed.
Yeah, I would have milked it, and I would have laid down there. Probably even got a stretcher out, then gone up and kicked a goal. But yeah, it was a fantastic effort by Diggers.
So, great day out here, really good game of football, entertaining. Thank you, gentlemen, for jumping on and helping us out. Thank you to Red Onion for everything that you guys did. We had a lot of fun. Don't know if we'll ever be back, but we'll take advantage of the fun we had today. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next week for the grand final.
See you later.
Bye-bye.